All right. Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm D. Lake for Prez, David Lake, reporting for the MediaSpeaks.com. I'm joined this morning by Sam, I.B. DeGangi, Sam of the Quick Team, and the band passing time, Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to our Saturday edition.
Excellent, Sam. I'm also joined by Kyle Phillips, Nose Hair 515 of the Media Speaks' very own Kyle Phillips. Kyle, how's it going?
Pretty good. Glad to be on today. Got an exciting episode.
Yes, that we do. We do have a very exciting episode planned as I try to coordinate all the production of the music and all this. Why don't we just stop goofing around and just jump right into it, get started. Where the hell is the Bergdahl Report, Kyle?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about the whole Bowe Bergdahl thing. I mean, he's out, he's safe. Like that's really all we've been told, right? We haven't heard anything about the investigation into how he got captured, any of this.
Well, apparently the report is already finished. But we, when I say we tonight, I'm talking about we the people. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff says the report on the possible desertion of Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl. Now, keep in mind he was advanced and got the higher rank of sergeant while he was in the Taliban's custody. Will be produced, quote unquote, fairly soon. Does it expose his trade for terrorists as another administration disaster? It's bad enough that the Obama administration is conducting a clearance sale of al-Qaeda detainees at Guantanamo, releasing the worst of the worst like a candy dispenser. Clicking through here.
We got, while you're finding stuff, Lucien Farrow.
Oh.
Indigo Children Radio.
Lucien, welcome to the show. Can we hear you?
Hey, thanks everybody. And Sam.
Thank you very much for the birthday wishes and welcome aboard.
Oh yeah, Sam, I forgot to wish you happy birthday.
Thank you both. Yes, it was an awesome party, by the way.
Oh well, shit.
I think I have a delay. I'm going to log in and log right back.
Okay, yeah. Now that Lucien's here, we can talk football and Deflategate. No, seriously. Lucien, before the show, I deflated my balls.
Yeah, it usually gets, I always try to deflate my balls before making a big decision, so.
I like to deflate my balls, yeah, before I make serious life decisions.
Yeah, because, I mean, you might deflate your balls and then you don't want to send that next text, but Bowe Bergdahl.
It makes my balls easier to handle when it's, like, rainy and cold and stuff. Anyways, Lucien, the Army is squelching a report on Bergdahl's desertion to avoid embarrassing Obama, says Judge Napolitano. 7 months ago, after President Obama stood in the Rose Garden to announce the United States had traded 5 Taliban leaders for a suspected Army deserter, the Army investigation of Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl remains a secret. And the reason that I bring this up is because here's the detainees released from GITMO. I posted on my Facebook the other day that this is a story that is not in the news, which is why we are covering it today. Let me go back to what Napolitano had to say when he joined Fox and Friends. Fox still covering the issue. The biggest issue facing the White House is Obama's personal elevation of the Bergdahl swap, trumpeting it with his own announcement, then trotting out minions like former United Nations Ambassador Susan Rice to make ludicrous statements about how Bergdahl served his country with, quote, honor and distinction. Yeah, right, you stupid, excuse me, right up until he walked off the base into enemy territory. According to Judge Napolitano, the president's personal involvement in the trade of Sergeant Bergdahl for 5 Taliban leaders at GITMO is so toxic, such a hot potato, I think he prefers that we, the people, never know exactly what happened. The judge said, Kyle, what do you think?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one, and I don't like. He's saying that he thinks that they're suppressing this report coming out to protect Obama because of his involvement. I don't buy that part of it, just because I don't see the Army really being the biggest fans of Obama, and it's not like he's up for re-election or anything. He's done. He's had his 2 terms, so I think they're probably, if anything, protecting themselves.
Well, Kyle, it's conveniently been delayed, as it was past the midterm elections by a lengthy review process eerily reminiscent of what took place regarding the Benghazi talking points. That process was designed to make the administration look good and less culpable. And it, too, took place shortly before an election. And there was talk back in November that after the election, probably in December, we would see this report. It's now January. It's January 24th. It's almost February. We have no idea what the report concludes. And it may show that Bergdahl innocently left his combat post in Afghanistan only to be captured and held hostage by hostiles. That's what White House National Security Advisor Susan Rice, like I said, of Benghazi Video Live fame, was sent to the talk shows to say. But based on the facts as we know them and the testimony of those who served with Bergdahl and went looking for him, we doubt it. The uncontestable truth is that Bergdahl walked away from his wartime post, leaving his weapon and gear behind, and he was writing letters home, and I did reports about Bowe Bergdahl's Bob and Jenny, probably his fake parents. Lucian, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, I think number one, I like to listen to both sides of the argument here. And in this country, there's really the 2 main sides, which is the conservative and the Democrat side. And on the conservative side of the House, you have people suggesting that the man is a traitor, that his actions were wrong, and that we shouldn't have traded these individuals for one of our own. On the other side, I heard the best argument coming from the liberal camp saying that at one point in time, Israel traded 100 or 1,000, I can't remember the number, alleged terrorists just for one of their own, and I think that that's a great argument. It really shows a lot of solidarity. You know, what would we not give to return one of you guys or myself had we been captured?
Yeah, I agree to an extent that, one, his actions may have been improper. He might have not followed protocol and done something that was really, really, really stupid. But that's not a mistake that you should necessarily pay for with your life if we can do something about it. And like I said when this story was originally breaking about the terrorist trade, it could be that we made a horrible, horrible trade, but the other side of it, which Sam brought up the point last time we talked about this, that Bush, during his presidency, got a ton of shit because there were vehicles, Bearcat vehicles, in Iraq and Afghanistan that didn't have proper plating, proper protection on the undercarriage, and they were susceptible to IEDs. And Bush sat there and he took shit for that and took shit for that and let people blame him for it while they were actually taking care of that problem already. And they couldn't say anything because if they acknowledged what they were doing, it would make it easier for the enemy to be able to figure out which vehicles did have the plating and which didn't, and so it would have put men at risk, and so he had to sit there and take all the shit for it. I think it's possible that we may have subverted one of these quote unquote terrorists that we gave back. We might have put GPS trackers in them. We might have gotten one of them to come over to our side. I don't know. And if one of those things was the case, I would expect them not to tell us, because by telling us it would completely ruin the it would.
I always.
Great point, Kyle.
I always like to warn people. I call it the Creed rule, and I'll explain why.
It looks like you're trying there, Sam. Not sure what just happened.
And that is, everybody knows that Creed is like this band that every time they come on, you just sigh and kind of wait for the song to end, except for the song Bullets, which is like this heavy metal charging forth. It comes out of nowhere, and it's actually a great song, not even a good song. That's the Creed rule. Just because Obama is terrible doesn't mean that every single thing he does has to be wrong without a doubt. And I do worry that it's the same thing with Bush, like he was just talking about the plating on the Humvees and whatnot. there something that obviously bad is usually for a reason. He didn't get points from the Democrats nor the Republicans on this. His own party slacked him for much of this, and they were like, you could tell NPR was like, let's see how we're going to spin this turd high. Nobody liked it. So yeah, it does make you wonder if this wasn't. I mean, Obama has so many clear, obvious destructionary policies towards the country that I'm not sure that this was one of them.
And it might be, though. It might be. We don't know, but it's possible.
I think that there's
it wouldn't surprise me.
Lucian, go ahead.
I was just going to interject and say I think that there's an even larger underlying issue here in this country and globally throughout the military in the Western world, which is the character, the women and men of character that it takes to become a soldier or a Marine or an airman or a sailor is no longer there. We're letting pretty much anybody come in. These people are not born warriors, and a warrior doesn't mean someone who's going to go in there and murder and kill. What we have here is we've got the artists and the poets and the philosophers joining the United States military and bringing that artist, musician, philosopher sort of mentality to the ball game. And I'm not suggesting that warriors lack the strength of character to not have mercy, to not be men and women of forgiveness, but at the same time, the personalities we're getting are people that just want the college ride, they want an alternative lifestyle from their home, from their hometown, and we're seeing this massive influx of the young kids with the emo music and the tight pants actually pretending that they're going to be real warriors, and it's kind of it's a real razor's edge sort of topic. I don't want anyone to think that the only people that should join the military are the ones that are going to, kill and feast on the blood of babies and all of this terrible nonsense. But I am suggesting that there is a type of person permeating the forces that do not belong there, and I think that Bowe Bergdahl is one of them.
I agree completely. Like, if you look at it,
don't ask, don't tell have anything to do with that. No, I'm sorry, Kyle, go ahead.
If you look at the comparison of previous wars and previous militaries, I mean, if you look at the military that we had during World War II, there are two types of people. Obviously, the people who were drafted, which is horrible, but a lot of the people who joined in World War II watched this situation play out on the world stage. They watched the rise of Nazi Germany. They saw what happened with Poland. They saw what was happening with our allies, and they stood up and they said, this needs to be stopped, and they need me. And there were powerful, confident heroes that went and they enlisted to join that fight. But what we have now is not people joining the military going, like in the movie American Sniper, they look at their TV and go, look what they're doing to us. It's people who are like, all right, I got bad grades in high school. There's this guy always recruiting at me in the high school since I was 14. I don't have enough money to go to college. There's no good jobs for me back here. The only way I'm going to be able to make enough money and do something with myself is if I put on a uniform and become a soldier. And those aren't necessarily the right people you want on the battlefield.
One of the things that suck about that as well is that it's true. I didn't go to college till I was almost 30, and I didn't go to the military, and I didn't have the money to go. So unfortunately, the fear is true. And the other thing I wanted to mention was a point that Lucian had made. What's the name of the gentleman that ran for, he's a lawyer, he ran for Congress, and he was the guy that was proving that the underwear bomber was put on
Haskell. Kurt
Haskell, thank you very much. He talked about going, I think he...
Sam keeps freezing. Lucian just dropped out. Kyle,
I wasn't sure if it was me.
Today?
Am I? I thought I was, but apparently it seems like it's not me. It seems like it's everyone else.
Okay, yeah, I mean...
Because whenever stuff starts freezing up, yeah, I assume that it's me. I assume that it's my computer because I always have issues. Who doesn't? But yeah, seems like today. Oh, Sam's trying. He's trying so hard to break through.
Am I roboing out?
Yeah.
Am I roboing?
I don't know if you want to try to log out, log back in. But Kyle, basically, I just wanted to ask this morning, where is the Bowe Bergdahl Report? Because it's something that we were told was going to be coming after the November elections, and it's still not here yet. and Bowe Bergdahl's not in the news. American Sniper and Chris Kyle are in the news, and other war stories are in the news. If you go back to when the Bowe Bergdahl thing was announced, with Susan Rice's lying, all of his comrades in arms in the military with him said the guy left his post. He deserted. He deserted his post. He went out there. He got captured by the Taliban. He spent 5 years in the Taliban's custody, and then they released him with this video, and his fake parents, that I believe are his fake parents, go to.
Oh, I don't believe they're fake parents. I absolutely believe those are his real parents.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys believe what you want. I have my own
but
theories.
following the line, like what Lucian said, that this is more like an artsy, like the poet or the writer who ends up on the battlefield somehow. If we're believing that that's who this was and that's why this happened.
Yeah, the guy was like a ballerina.
Well, look at his parents. His parents were like super hippies. Like his parents, like I would say that they were fake parents if they had his parents come on and it's like a dude with like a military haircut and he's just like, hope they get my son home, and that's all he's. You know what I mean? Just like generic.
They did the opposite of that. He grew his beard out, started speaking Arabic in the Rose Garden. Look, okay, maybe that's just a theory. Maybe they're his real parents. Fine, show me a picture of him with his parents. That's all I want to see.
See, my thing
he's not
is
a fucking baby.
It's tough for me because, like, all right, let's assume that he was a coward and that he abandoned his post for whatever reason. That doesn't necessarily make him a bad person or a person that we should prosecute. That makes him somebody who should have never been in the military and somebody who never should have been given that military responsibility.
Well, that, I mean, and one thing we're not saying, there's a third option.
I have to agree with you.
Why we don't have to go with set the man free and call him a hero, or put the man in prison for desertion. There's got to be some other way that, especially if he looks like maybe there's something kind of wrong with him.
He joined the Army after he was relieved from the Coast Guard. I mean, this.
Yeah, which is that's odd in and of itself.
So this is somebody who shouldn't have been in the military. It's as simple as that. And I mean,
correct.
You can't blame, like, if somebody, if you get, your roof done and the roof looks like shit afterwards, it doesn't mean that the roofer was an asshole. I mean, he might just not be somebody who should be putting roofs on, and this company should let him go. In the same way, this guy, he was released from the National Guard. He should have been released from the Army and told, like, hey, soldier's life is not the one for you, man. Like, so, I mean, I want to be careful not to persecute somebody for not being a hero. You know what I mean? Like, not being a hero and being
I want the report to come out, and we can judge the report. I mean, even Napolitano was saying that they had, like, Obama assigned the, like, investigation to generals. I mean, this is a little bit below their, assignment responsibilities. I just want the report.
Hey,
That's
Kyle.
all I want. I just want the report.
Eli and Kyle, maybe this. I've spent all week watching Black Mirror, by the way. Maybe this is like the pig.
Yeah.
Okay. Inside reference for people that have been watching Black Mirror. Sam, I'm glad you finally had a chance to watch that. Let's shift gears and get into this New Jersey police shoot a man with his hands up. Kyle, did you want to intro this?
Yeah, I saw this, and I always give credit where credit's due. I heard them talking about this on InfoWars. Me and D-Lake were talking about it before the show. And I listened to the audio while I was listening to the podcast version. When I got home, I was like, all right, let's see this video. Because they're making it sound like this guy, it was just like completely 100%, like the cop shot this guy in cold blood, and I've heard that before where it isn't the case. So I came home and watched the video. Lucian and Sam, have you heard about this at all?
No, I have not. I have to admit to everybody, I had little show prep today due to a birthday party last night. So no, I did not.
Lucian, have you heard about this at all? Yeah, yes. So in New Jersey, there was a traffic stop. Apparently the guy rolled through a stop sign. There's two guys in the car. Cop comes up to the window. It starts out pretty normal. Hey, you rolled through that stop sign. Oh, I didn't see it. Well, you rolled through a stop sign, so I got to give you a ticket. Can I see your insurance and stuff? Opens up the glove box. There's a gun in there, which one of the important things is nobody has said whether this was a legal firearm or not. And I think that's very, very important. The guy in the passenger seat.
Yeah, but the cop assumes that it's illegal right away, straight away.
Yes, which he assumed that, arguably, it's been said because the guy in the passenger seat when they ran the plates had a criminal history, and the cop, no doubt, way overreacted. Let's play the video, and then we can get into it and say, kind of dissect it a little
Let
bit.
me mute out, yes.
All right, yeah. If you guys want to mute out, just so we don't get a lot of echo, while I play this. But the all the F words are bleeped out, so just fill in the F words with your imagination. It's not. Here we go.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good. Hey, Officer Days, Bridgeton Police. Reason I'm pulling you up, you went
Kyle, you hearing this okay?
Yeah, coming through great.
Okay, good.
right through that stop sign back there. Where at? Right on South Pine Street. Hey, you got a driver's license? Yeah, I got my driver's license. What's up, man? You know, grab.
What's up, man? So he's talking to the driver and he's on the passenger side of the vehicle.
And it starts out, it sounds like a pretty good police interaction. It sounds like he's being polite. He identifies himself, says his name, says exactly why I pulled him over. Like, up until this point, like, all right, this guy's doing his job properly.
Okay. I agree with that. Continuing.
For me. No. Show me your hand. Show me your hand.
Okay, right there. Show me your fucking hands. I just saw the gun in the glove box, the officer.
At this point, I have to say, and people might disagree with me, that I still think the officer is acting properly. I don't know if you guys own any guns. I know that I do. I know in Illinois it's illegal to have a gun in your glove box. If you're transporting it, it has to be in the trunk. In the case of a truck, it has to be behind and under the seat, in a place where you can't grab it, and it has to be unloaded with bullets in a separate place. So I don't know the law in this place, but if you were to get pulled over, and I know in a lot of places it's totally legal to have a gun in your glove box, it is proper protocol to tell an officer before you open your glove box, and Alex Jones said this, and I know other people who have said similar things, like Alex Jones was talking about, he got pulled over once, he had a gun in his glove box, and he told the officer, my registration is in the glove box, there's also a firearm in there, would you prefer to walk around to the other side and grab it out yourself? And the cop said, that's fine, just reach for it slowly. And he didn't say that. He just opens his glove box where there's a gun. So that's dumb.
Kyle, I wanted to ask you, what do you do if you're on a motorcycle and you're transporting a gun?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I do not know.
Sam,
all right, let's get.
Yes. Sam with the curveball. What if you're on a motorcycle? No, let's continue with the video. Here we go.
Move! Don't you move! Don't you move!
Fucking
Get him out
move.
the car, Raj. We got a gun in this glove compartment.
I like the white cop's name is Raj. Come on, Raj.
Move.
Okay, so the black officer, and again, that's something that Alex Jones was saying, is that Al Sharpton can't really capitalize on this one since it was a black cop and
the
black
guy in the car, I believe, is black too. Yeah.
Yeah, Jerame Reid. Okay, so you'll notice that the white officer on the driver's side is holding the guy. The guy's got both his hands out his window, and he's starting to hold his hands outside the window. He's got the gun pointed in there. The other officer has on the passenger side has his gun pointed, at the gentleman in the passenger seat. Where he's sitting directly in front of the glove box. He keeps yelling, "Don't you fucking move! Don't you make a fucking reach! If you reach for anything, here we go. You're gonna be a dead man."
Show me your hand. Show me your hand. Don't you move. Don't. I'm telling you, I'm going to shoot you. You're going to be dead. I'm telling you. You reach for something, you're going to be dead.
Okay, again, that's not my speakers. That's all the cursing being edited out.
Yeah, and I want to say really quickly that we can't see what happens in the vehicle right here, and I do... Personally, I find it hard to believe that the guy's making a grab for the gun or doing anything like that. And it's like in a situation like this where he's freaking out, there's really not any right answer. You raise your hands too quickly and you might freak him out. You don't raise them fast enough, you might freak him out. But it's like you can't see what's going on inside of the car. But the people seem to be acting politely and stuff up until this freak out.
The driver has both his hands out the window, and you can see that. And we're getting to the major part of this, and then we'll get opinions from everybody.
Keep your hands right there. Hey, Jerome, you reach for something, you're gonna be dead. He's reaching.
He's reaching. Okay, that goes to what Kyle just said. We can't see exactly. This is the dash cam footage, but the officer on the passenger side says he's reaching.
You're gonna be dead. He's reaching. Show me your hands.
And it looks like it's again hard to see, but it does look like there is a little struggle right there.
No, you're not. Don't move.
Okay, that's it right there. You can see the black gentleman, I believe his name is Jerame Reid, getting out of the car. He has both hands up, not up all the way, but at his chest as he's trying to get out of the car. I mean, try to get out of a car without using your hands, okay?
Can you full screen your computer, D-Lake? That'll help.
I can blow it up a little bit, but it doesn't really. Google won't allow me to go full screen.
Yeah, once you full screen, it gets mad at you and it won't let you do it for some reason. But I've paused this and I've looked at it very, very closely. And whether there was a struggle or not, it's hard to get past the fact that he was out of the car with his hands up before a bullet was fired.
I'm gonna try to pause it at that exact moment, and I blew it up a little bit. Here we go.
I didn't see him reaching for anything.
Again, Sam, you can't see inside the car. Here, let me play this.
Show me your hands. No, you're not. Don't move.
I see his hand.
I can sort of see his shoulder. Okay, the hand
I can see his other hand. It's right in the middle of the two seats.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's up. You can see his hands are up. You can see at least one hand is up.
Yeah, he didn't reach for a gun in that situation. There's no way you would be able to reach for a gun in that and think that he would win. There's no way he reached for a gun there. Because one gun's not going to take out both of those. That wouldn't have even worked in an action movie. They'd have never shot that. They'd have been like, well, that doesn't work. Let's find a new scene.
Okay, Sam, you can see it's very bluish with the lighting of the cop car, but there's his head. Here we go. There he is. There's his hands, I can see. Two hands right there.
Both hands are out, yes.
I hear the first shot. Okay, let me play that again. I don't have slow motion, but everyone pay close attention. Passenger side. Oh, and the other guy fired a shot over here into his back. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch.
Did he die?
One more time. This is
he died.
Instant replay. He's dead. Luckily, Raj didn't shoot the black cop. Okay, let's keep watching as the driver now, who just saw his buddy get shot, has both his hands out. He has to use one hand to open the door, obviously, and he just gets out and gets on his belly.
No, right here. Cuff him right there.
Okay, that's pretty much the extent of it. Guys, let's hear your thoughts and opinions now.
Sam, I know that you hadn't seen this, so being this the first time that you watched it, where are you at with this?
First of all, I didn't see him reach for anything. The other thing I want to say is, how in the world can you say that the guy was reaching for a gun? He would have had to have shot the cop to his right, then shot either through the windshield or out the window in front of his friend to hit the other cop before he was shot. I guarantee he did not think he did that.
Yeah, the logic of it, just the logic to try and fill in what you can't see, is that he would have had to have been trying to reach for a gun with two guns aimed on him already. That would be ludicrous. I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll find out.
From two different sides.
Yeah, maybe it's very new, I'm sure we'll find out in the moving forward what the toxicology report shows. Maybe he was on PCP, God knows, but it doesn't seem like that. He was very calm. These guys were just like, oh, we're getting pulled over, whatever. We're not doing anything wrong. Everybody was calm, and then it just escalated so quickly. Lucian, you said you'd heard about this. What do you think about this whole video?
Well, I think that this is definitely a hot topic, news media sort of stuff, and it's a two-way street. We have police officers that we know absolutely for a fact are corrupt, and they're out of control, but we also have citizens that are out of control. I don't really believe that this is one of the citizens out of control sort of scenarios. I think that the cops seem to really escalate the situation seemingly very quickly. I wasn't there, of course, but at the same time, I don't know if it necessarily matters if the guys were doing drugs or had drugs in their system at this point in time, because the video seems to be rather cut and dry.
I think that would all be like how would you say, like a post factor to the equation, because how could the officers know that? We have to go on basically just their approach. Lucian, let me ask you though, how did you feel about the way that the officer that approached the passenger side, the way that he did? I mean, as soon as he saw that gun, he escalated to using all types of FU profanity. He says at one point, "I'm going to F and shoot you." I mean,
maximum lethal force, like out of nowhere.
Well, let me just put it to you like this, Lucian. Does that sound like professional police conduct? Like, I'll fucking shoot you, you'll be fucking dead. I mean, is that appropriate?
No, unfortunately, we see a lot of this sort of language. I know that in the military, that is not professional. That is not how you treat what we call TCNs, third country nationals. Or I'm not in the military right now, but I have been in the past. And I know it's definitely not the sign of, it's not a hallmark of a professional cop, because as soon as an authority figure, no matter what your job is, you could be the boss at Walmart, you start treating people this way, the sense of fear for his partner cop, for the two gentlemen inside this vehicle, has to be going through the roof. That guy single-handedly is cranking up the fear meter.
And that's the thing, is like him shouting and yelling, "Don't fucking move, I swear," and just like non-stop, like that guy in that car is going to panic, whether he did something wrong, whether there was a gun or not. And my thing, and I think what D-Lake was kind of getting at is, all right, cops are guys out there whose job is to go up against people breaking the law, who are always lying to them and always looking to get around them or possibly,
keep in mind,
in some cases, hurt them. They're guys with guns who are scared to death like anybody else would be in that situation every time that they come up to somebody's window. But escalating it that much just overseeing a gun, that really scares me. That shows like the public perception of the Second Amendment. Like the guy, I understand if he sees the guy holding a gun or something like that, but he just saw a gun. Like people like back in the day, not that long ago, 25 years ago, had gun racks across the back window of their trucks, you know? Like, he freaked out just at the sight of a firearm.
And does that lend to the professionalism? Here is the actual crime that was the result of them being pulled over. Right here, from the dash cam footage. I don't have the audio on, but we don't need it. Right here. Oh, did you see him breeze past that stop sign? Oh, my God. Pull him over. Light him up. Light him up.
I mean, you can argue.
That was the crime. We didn't know they had a gun in the glove box yet.
I'd like to say Dylan has a point there. Yes, people are sick of being pulled over for utter BS. Absolutely sick of it. And it's making people violent. And I'm not saying that these people were, but I'm saying it's going to... You get pulled over for nothing. There's nobody on this street, and we're sick of it.
Sam,
we don't care if it's illegal or not. We're sick of it.
Wait, can I play devil's advocate to this, though? We are all people who drive or have driven. If you see a cop right behind you, you're going to stop at that stop sign, right? Like, you're not going to blow through a stop sign. Honestly, and this might sound dumb, but if you see a cop directly behind you, you are going to stop 1 Mississippi, and then you are going to continue going so that you don't fucking get pulled over. And the fact that this guy breezed through a stop sign with a cop directly behind him, isn't that a little bit suspicious? Like,
I saw some
he might have just been talking and not noticed the cop was even there.
I saw some brake lights and slowing down, but I also want to add that this was compounded by the fact that they were driving while black. Okay?
but there's a black cop.
It's hard to say, though, with the cop being black. I don't think it's a racial issue.
I don't think it's
racial. It may
racial
be a
at all.
style issue. Or it may be a cultural issue. Like if I see a white guy and
Jaguar
he's wearing
These
a
guys must
Nazi
be drug
flag
dealers.
on the back of his jean jacket, then I'm going to assume that this guy probably is racist. But if I just see a white guy walking down the street, I'm not going to think it. The cop that shot him was black.
Look,
So I don't think it's a racial issue. But, who knows? Maybe he had that gang style, in which case it could be a cultural issue.
Look, I mean, all of us are white except for Lucian, who's a cartoon mask. And if any of us did this with a cop right behind us, we would all get pulled over.
Well,
So
it's hard
the
to see. It's hard.
Yeah.
Kyle, it's hard to see in the video.
I don't think it was racial.
I don't know. Looked
He
like
rolled
wearing
that stop. He rolled, and whether you think it's right or not to get pulled over for rolling a stop in the middle of the night with nobody else on the road is one thing, but we all do agree that any of us, including Lucian with his hat and his mask, would all get pulled over for that.
I'm a prime suspect for getting pulled over with a top hat and a mask when I'm driving. They pull me over every day.
Yeah, they're like, did you just rob a bank or something?
driving
Yeah.
while masked, driving while top hatted,
Yeah, driving while cartoon. That's the new.
driving while
Driving while-
cartoon.
But
guys.
I mean,
I
he
don't
did
want to
elevate
exhaust
the
this, but-
situation. But my thing is, I said this with the Eric Garner thing, and you guys I think disagreed with me on this one, that when it comes to police brutality, there's so many cases that are cut in stone that the Eric Garner, every situation you can put blame percentage on each side, and the Eric Garner situation, you can say, well, he did something that got the cops called on him, whether you think that's right or wrong. A business called the police and wanted him gone. He resisted arrest, and he was kind of making a big scene out of it. So you can put not all the blame on Eric Garner by any means, but you could assign him, let's say, 35-40% of the blame in that situation. In a situation where the cops are getting 75 or less % of the blame, I have to take their side. Not because I love cops and not because I don't want to out dirty cops, but I think it's important to make sure and be positive that you have the dirty cops. This situation to me, and what I said was I need at least 90%. You guys remember this. That's what I said. I need at least 90% blame can be directly assigned to the police officer. This is that situation. For me, him not telling him that there was a gun in the glove box is 10%. The rest of the situation, from what we can see, was escalated by the police officer, and I think there should absolutely be a grand jury, and there should absolutely be an investigation. This guy, assuming that he is found guilty, should be fired and brought up on charges.
Sure, and I'd just like to point out that cases like the Michael Brown case and the Eric Garner cases, a grand jury convened and did not indict those officers, but you know what? It happened a lot faster than the Bowe Bergdahl trial. Anyways, Lucian, you said you also wanted to speak on the issue of those people who say, I don't need to show you my ID, or I refuse to answer questions. We didn't really see that happen in this particular video that we just watched of the New Jersey police department shooting a black man with his hands up. Doesn't matter that he's black, he's a citizen. But what do you want to say, Lucian, about people that say, I don't need to show you my ID or I refuse to answer questions? Lucian.
Right. Yeah. This is a different topic entirely, sort of. I saw several YouTube videos a couple of weeks ago where there's this guy. He's sort of like, there's nothing exceptional about him, and he's like a Weasley little guy, and all he does is it just seems like this guy is always pulled over by the police or always going through checkpoints, and he's one of those, I'm not going to show you my ID. I refuse to answer your questions.
Lucian, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I have seen that video. It's a very, very popular video and meme, especially on Facebook. Does that guy try to get pulled over that many times?
I know. I'm like, dude, how are you like every single day or every week or all the time. If you look at the frequency of the posting of his videos, it's like, come on, dude, are you literally seeking out these situations? Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but I do not have the time of day in my life when a police officer pulls me over. I was pulled over probably 3 months ago because my tags were expired by a couple of weeks. I had no idea because I didn't get a notice, and it just happened, right? When I get pulled over, it's not out of fear. I pull over, I immediately pull over to the nearest thing, I roll down all the windows, I make sure that they can see me, that they can see my hands. If it's nighttime, I illuminate the inside of the car, I roll down all the windows, even if it's cold, because I don't have the time of day to have this cop or this Border Patrol agent waste extra minutes of my life because I'm going to actually sit there and say it's my right, this is illegal, etc., etc. You are asking for it as a person, and I've seen a lot of people get on this bandwagon, and I'm telling you, if that's the life you want to live, you want to get pulled over by the police, and you're like, I'm not going to answer these questions, I'm not going to give you my ID, here's this little business card that cites the amendment, am I being detained, and then drive away. You are asking you may not be asking for serious trouble, but you are asking for them to waste precious minutes of your time. I don't have that kind of time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what these guys' life situation is. There's this guy we're looking at here. There's another guy with a sort of grayish goatee, and I think the man is pathetic. I don't support anything he do. He's not a warrior on behalf of my American and constitutional rights by any way. What he's doing is he's setting a precedent for real criminals to take this on and say, oh, these are my rights, I don't have to answer you this. And they could be white criminals, they can be black criminals, they can be Hispanic, Asian. It does not matter. I don't support this at all. I think that they're just begging for trouble, and it's a waste of time. It's a strategic error. It's not about sticking up for your constitutional rights on that day. The guy is a police officer. He's not an attorney. He's not a federal judge. He's not a state judge. So I really have kind of internalized this issue, and everybody that I come in contact with in my life, I tell them, don't do this. Don't be that person. What do they want to know? The guy pulls me over. When I got pulled over, he walks up, and he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, I do not know, and I'm super nice. I'm very courteous. I smile, because I literally don't have the 5, 10, 15 minutes ticking away. I did not get a ticket, but the guy was courteous and nice. That's what I gave him. Another time I was pulled over for no particular reason. It seemed like I did not get a ticket. He asked me questions. I said, no, everything is good. I don't have any weapons on me. I have a pocket knife at this time. That's it. He didn't. The way I treat officers, they rarely even ask me for my license. I'm a busy individual, is my point. These guys that have so much time to stand there and tell this guy, I'm not answering your questions, this is illegal by the Constitution, is ridiculous. And you see how long some of these guys' videos are? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? I don't have that kind of time at a checkpoint. I don't have that kind of time at a DUI checkpoint. A lot of people at these DUI checkpoints are going on and on and on about, this is unconstitutional. You cannot stop me and seize my stuff. And I'm saying to myself, how are you going to feel when your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, your child gets wiped out by that person who is out there right now, today, in your time zone, drunk, and he's going to kill somebody, and you think that those DUI checkpoints are not really, they're just there to harass you and only you? I mean,
shit,
to me,
Lucian.
Wait,
I don't really get into it.
I think that's where I don't agree. This DUI stuff is a scam, an absolute scam for money. They're giving people DUIs that are nowhere near drunk. I know I got one. I did a last call shot at 195 pounds, and they gave me a DUI. They abuse things like you have never seen. At least where I'm at, they're I call them cockroaches because they're everywhere.
I agree with
for
Lucian.
damn near nothing.
I
managed to have. I am with Lucian about the politeness, but I've told the story in the past, so I'm going to truncate it. when the cop pulled me over. I was polite. I agree. I told him who I was. I agreed to get out of the car. And then once he started getting in, I clammed up and did the I refuse to answer any questions, am I free to go thing. I didn't go right to that. Lucian is right. But the moment he wanted to go through my car and made this an issue that pissed me off because I hadn't done anything wrong, and it worked. I mean, so I guess I'm in the middle there because I agree with the first part of what he's saying. But this DUI thing is an utter scam.
Yes,
Well,
and
I've been in
quickly,
trouble.
I agree with both of you guys, and I agree with Lucian on most of your points, except for when it comes to the checkpoints and the DUI, because the DUI checkpoints, they get a hell of a lot more seatbelt tickets and people who can't find their insurance card and pretty much bullshit tickets, a hell of a lot more than they get DUIs. The checkpoints, the border checkpoints, 100 miles off the border, a lot of those people that you see making those videos are normal people who started making those videos because their job is on the other side of one of those checkpoints, and they have to go through it twice a day, and they get to the point where they're like, why the fuck do I have to do this every day? And I do agree with Sam, though, that and Lucian, I'm always polite when I get pulled over. I'm as polite as I can be. I keep my hands where they can see them. I'm nice. I'm friendly. If I know why they pulled me over, I tell them why they pulled me over. But two things on that. One, I haven't been pulled over in like 2 years. Like, those people who do it, yeah, it seems like they get pulled over every week. It's like you got to be trying to get pulled over at that point. And the second part is, if you are polite and you're nice and the guy's a dick and he's going to want to search your car, then yes, I am going to go, am I being detained, am I free to go at that point. But when you start off that way, and there's the one guy from the Fresno Liberty Movement that Court brought onto the show, who he had a video where his girlfriend, and I've talked about this on the show before. Brian Sumner. His girlfriend gets pulled over and he goes, roll down your window an inch. The cop comes up. He's got his camera in the cop's face. I need your badge number. I need your name. And he's being a complete dick right off the bat. And it turns out the cop pulled him over because their license plate light was out and it was just giving a warning and letting him know. It's like you were a dick and that cop was nice. Like that cop was doing his job. How else would you ever know your license plate light was out unless he told you? I would never notice that. And he was giving you a warning even though you were being a dick, and he could have easily escalated it into a ticket. So there's good cops. There's mainly good cops, and there's a few bad cops. And when you get one of those bad cops, yes, go into that mode, I think. But wait until you are sure that you are dealing with that cop and you have no other option, because 99% of the time, being nice and agreeable, you're going to get a warning and you're going to get let on your way.
Yeah, it's not because I'm submissive or because I have that much respect for the uniform, etc., etc. It's because, to me, it's a strategic move. I'm playing the game, all right? You want to show me how big your unit is? Then fine. It's much bigger than mine. You're a better man than me. You're bigger than I am. All that stuff. So that I can get...
Wait. Listen.
So I can move on.
Did you hear about that cop that was relieved of his duty because he kept approaching people that he was pulling over, mostly guys? He would pull them over, and he'd approach the car with like his zipper down and his junk hanging out.
Oh my God. No, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. But it's like I say, it's not because I'm submissive. It's not because I'm not sticking up for my rights, whatever. It's a strategy thing, because I literally don't have the time of day to sit there and convince some police officer and talk to him about the Constitution, etc., etc. Now, with that being said, I have been in my early 20s. The state of California revoked my driver's license for 3 years because I was that dude doing 75 in a 45. I have gone through a DUI checkpoint and not gotten busted with a full-on open can, actual tall boy, a 40, not an open, yeah, 40 of brew in my center console with all my car full of the boys. We were at a party. I'm not saying that I'm the best guy out there, whatever. I'm saying that I'm older now. It's a strategy, and I don't support these guys that are going this way and that way. Now, there's this one guy who's going through a Border Patrol checkpoint, and they're not looking for illegals. They're looking for the fruit, etc., etc. That's a serious job. Anybody who's done any farming or done anything in the agro field before can realize that this one guy unwittingly brings a plant to the wrong zone, like let's say from Utah to Washington State or from Wyoming back down to Southern California. you can do some serious damage. I mean, look what's
Ash
going on with the
Beetle.
Asian. Yeah, I mean, and it is not a joke. Imagine if you made a six-figure income as a farmer, right? Now, we say six-figure income, but really what's your take-home? Going to be 55, 60? So it's not a big shot job. But when those things start taking, like in the Midwest, you guys have a serious problem with all your hardwoods getting eaten up. Okay, that's a big deal. Hardwoods represents a massive amount of agricultural revenue for people like you if you live out there. And guess who the second competitor is? Belize, South America. You want them to make all that money and have those jobs? I'm not against it. I'm just saying, how about jobs for Americans? It's going all out the window when guys are like, no, I don't have to tell you that I'm bringing this piece of fruit. Sometimes it's not about illegals, guns, drugs, felony charges. It's about simple agro cops and inspectors doing their job, and I really, really support what they're doing.
I do like the sound of fruit cops, but I see your point because, yeah, we have PSAs and everything all over here. Don't move your wood, the ash borer beetle. But how many pieces of fruit are they catching at those borders, and how many people without a seatbelt who can't find their insurance card, their tail light is out, their registration is expired? How many more tickets and how much more frustration is caused to the American public over stupid small things like that compared to how much
seatbelt's an important thing, man. You can lose your head not wearing a seatbelt. I mean, your head can literally be taken off of your body.
But it's my head, and I know that. I know that, and it's my head, and I'm not going to kill somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So why is it that the government's going to give me a seatbelt ticket when I go through their DUI checkpoint sober? Like, it seems ridiculous to me. I understand the DUI thing. I understand you don't want people out there wasted, swerving all over the road. I get that because it's a danger to other people. I think that the limit is set way too low. I think it should be based more on the individual person than any specific amount, because I know that there's people who can chug a 12-pack and they're 10 times safer to drive than some other people who could kill somebody after 2 beers. Do you like giving the fist? But
yeah,
I understand when there's
safety.
safety.
I can finish this six-pack and go drive around, but I don't drive, so whatever. But I used to drive through when I lived out in Tecate. I used to drive through a border checkpoint every day. Hey, how's it going? They kind of recognize me, American citizen. I'm on my way. Never had any problems. Sometimes I would ride the bus though, a bus full of, mostly Mexicans. Like fucking those short little Mexican ladies will push you right out of the way to get on the bus because it's limited seating. But we'd get to the checkpoint. They'd come on board. They'd check everyone's ID. They'd look at me. I'd be like, white guy. If you want to talk about white privilege, when you go through a border checkpoint, it does probably come into play. I also wanted to talk today about Jeb Bush previews his 2016 run promising, quote-unquote, adult conversations, Kyle, on big issues. Kyle, how do you feel about adult conversations?
I like them, and by the way, speaking of adult conversations, at 49 minutes into this show, Lucian said, "Your junk is bigger than mine." That will be making it to my soundboard.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Well, it's a strategy thing, and I care about each one of you guys personally and all my other friends, whether I've met you in real life or we're radio buddies or not. Here's the thing. I'm not a police officer. It's not my job to find out if you guys are wearing your seatbelts. But I'll tell you what, when Megan private messaged me and tells me that Kyle wasn't wearing his seatbelt and he crashed at 35 miles an hour, could have lived or whatever, I'm going to be sad. And
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You're putting me in that position. It's not my job. It's the police officer's job to make sure that Kyle is wearing his seatbelt. If you get a little dinger, yeah, that sucks. Maybe the cop was a dick about it. But I can't look out for you that way because it isn't my occupation. But with that being said, it sort of is a safety thing. You got to think of it like, what are you going to tell your kids when you have them one day? You wear your seatbelt, right? Because when you take a hit at 35 miles an hour, you might be just a little bit better off.
Yeah, but when I get a message from Lucian's cartoon girlfriend on Facebook and she goes, "Lucian died because he was walking down the street," he was walking down the street and he didn't have his helmet on, I'm going to go, well, that's unfortunate, but I wouldn't expect you to wear a helmet down the street every day. And I
Okay,
do wear
Kyle,
my
Kyle.
wait. I do
Well,
wear
what
my
if-
seatbelt because it is a safety issue, and I agree that it is safer to wear a seatbelt. But I don't think it's the government's prerogative to be going around making sure I protect myself.
Well,
If that's the case, then
the
why
other
is it
prob-
illegal? Why don't we have to wear helmets walking down the street? Why don't I have to have a blood pressure and heart rate monitor on all the time that goes to a central agency that makes sure I'm not having a heart attack? And when do you draw the line?
Let me tell you where.
Well, it also, I think, becomes an issue where, as a cab driver, I was hit on the side, and the only reason that I was okay was that I didn't have my seatbelt on. And it happened to me once when I was going down the freeway. I had the front left tire of my car, the wheel of my car fall off. And I went into the side, the cement, the wall, and fortunately was able to duck down without my seat on and miss the glass that was flying in my direction.
Yeah, but I had a friend who got
Russian
shot.
roulette. It's twice. It's Russian
But
roulette. It really
That's
is.
the same as saying I had a friend who got shot and he was saved because he had a Bible in his breast pocket. Like, it's a
No,
one
it
in a
happened to me
million thing.
twice. It happened
I
to me
actually did get hit crossing the road. True story. 2008,
Did you really?
I got nailed. Oh yeah, I was totally legit. The little green guy came on. I'm crossing the road, and boom, guy nails me. Right, totally puts me out. Yeah, knocks me out like crazy, etc., etc. I just want to. We're not going to get into it, but I'm just saying, yeah, this stuff happens, and you're right. Maybe the government shouldn't be in our business or whatever, but I'm it's a tough thing. Safety is safety. I take safety pretty seriously because I've been an unsafe guy before.
So do
Okay,
I. I'm just
really-
saying I don't think the government should be like spanking me if I decide not to be safe, not to wear a helmet on a motorcycle, or to, even if I want to drink a little bit of bleach every once in a while, just a little sip. I know it's probably not good for me, but
Let me try to take back control of hosting today's show. We have a lot of thoughts and opinions that are really great. Lucian, I really appreciate your stance on safety. I believe in safety first. A long time ago, when I was kind of a relatively new driver, I pulled out of this place that nowadays it's blocked, but I crossed the double yellow to pull out of the 7-Eleven to get to the other side of traffic. I was just going from like 7-Eleven to the bank, but I did this illegal driving maneuver. A cop pulled me over. I was like half a block away from where I had pulled out, but I crossed the double yellow. Cop said, "You crossed the double yellow, and I noticed you're not wearing a seatbelt." I was like, fuck. The lady cop was like, "I can give you a ticket for either crossing the double yellow or the no seatbelt. Which would you rather have?" And gave me the fucking option. Because I was nice to the officer. One of the other things that Lucian pointed out is sometimes just playing their game.
Yeah, just play the game, bro.
I've gotten out of tickets just by playing dumb. You know what I mean? Just by playing. Did you know your headlight was out? Oh, really? No, I had no idea. I'm fucking totally new. Just give me the fix-it ticket and I'll get it fixed. I took the seatbelt ticket on that one in California. It was like $25, but the second time you get pulled over with no seatbelt, ideally you've learned your lesson or else it's going to be twice as much kind of thing. But I wanted to talk about Jeb Bush bringing up adult conversations, but you know what now? What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened?
did everybody else's stuff just freak out, or was it just
Everybody, something just happened. Did I say the wrong thing? Is that what
It says we're
happened?
still live, though, so let's talk about Jeb Bush, and hopefully everybody figures their own stuff out.
Well, what I was trying to say is I don't know if we want to talk about Jeb Bush, but he is promising adult conversations. 60% of Americans believe that we're still in a recession, Jeb Bush said. They're not dumb. It's because they are in a recession. They're frustrated, and they see a small portion of the population on the economy's up escalator. Portfolios are strong, but paychecks are weak. Millions of Americans want to move forward in their lives. They want to rise, but they're losing hope. And I have a feeling that Jeb Bush, in collaboration with Mitt Romney, is basically going to say everything right and potentially skate right into the presidency because we don't want Hillary Clinton. How do you guys feel about Jeb Bush's plans to run for president in 2016? Kyle.
My plan is if he runs, I'm gonna run to Canada. And yes, Lucian, we had a server crash. I don't know what that means, but we are still live. So on our show, there will probably be some like weird gap that will be unexplained. Yeah, wacky moment. It's because we were talking about seatbelts, and the government's like, oh no.
You're like, screw these guys.
Seatbelts?
No seatbelt. No anti-seatbelt.
Pull the plug on that show.
Extremist seatbelt rhetoric.
You're advising playing dumb when pulled over by a cop?
Shut the fuck down.
Jeb Bush, end it! No, so let's pick up the pace. Kyle, do you have the doggy cam set up? I don't see.
It is. She's sleeping on the other side. Let's see if her speaker's on. Let's see if we can attract her attention. Helena, come here.
Well, I have the doggy cam on camera, but I'm not seeing anything. All right. Let me get your thoughts, Lucian, on a potential Jeb Bush run in 2016. Did you hear that he met this week with Mitt Romney and they're planning their what they're going to do, because they both are kind of in a similar camp, and so there's probably a lot of talk amongst them about like where's all the campaign money going to go, like who should lead this, who should be the president, who should be the vice president, like should we team up against like these Rand Paul guys and Ted Cruz's and Marco Rubio's, or should we go head to head and see who spends the most money? Lucian, what do you think?
I think that the Republican Party has the worst lineup the last 8 years I've ever seen. Not one of those guys is a winner, not Mitt Romney, not Jeb Bush. It's absolutely sickening. I'm not saying it's because I'm for or against the conservative, but I just mean, as someone who follows politics, they have zero winners. I mean, that party needs an entire makeover. I think the best guy to run on the Republican ticket would be Donald Trump. Why? He said he'll legalize it. He says he'll legalize gambling. He says he looks at the numbers.
Justin Amish.
What's that?
Justin Amish is what I said. Wait, I just jumped back in. You're saying you think Donald Trump is the best candidate?
Donald Trump would be the best candidate because he's most in tune with the liberal ideologies that have been winning elections, legalizing it even though more people have been incarcerated under Obama. And I'm not saying I'm for or against weed. I'm just saying it's a hot topic these days. Okay, so Jeb Bush, disaster. Okay, don't even show your face. If you do it, all you're doing is you're forcing everybody who wants to vote for the Republican Party to throw their vote away in favor of who?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I just missed, but you see this picture here of Jeb Bush?
Yes.
He's saying that his dick is this big.
And Lucian's like, sure, your dick's that big.
You're a winner. You won. I don't have the time of day to stand here and argue with you, buddy.
Yeah, Jeb Bush. All right, we're getting pretty close to the end. Sam, do you have any science news?
Yeah, let's get to Sam's science news. Why don't we?
While we're waiting for Sam to figure out that his microphone is on mute, can you put on the doggy cam?
It's really dark.
Helena!
She gets her own hangout cam. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's really dark. It's really dark though, Kyle. Can't really see much.
It's because she's ignoring us. She knows I'm there. She can hear us.
Can you put a light on her?
The light's on. Helena! Ooh, 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 ooh.
Can't really see anything though.
Like, I don't know you. She's like,
looks like a scene out of Aliens. Samuel, are you back? Are you joining us? Can you unmute and do some science news, Sam?
Greetings, Unsettled Sam.
Yes, I can.
I feel like I have zero
Yes, I can,
control
man.
of the show today. Oh, okay, you can? Okay.
Let me find this,
Let's theme song this bitch.
It's time to learn some science! So here's Sam with the science front.
Greetings.
Sam, you're on. Sam.
Sam,
I think I have a delay here because I just heard a Sam, you're on. That's wonderful. You got to love. This is my promotion for Time Warner Cable. That's what I think of you. All right, Telegraph.com has our news from the science front today. We spent a lot of time on Mars, spent a lot of time in space. We're going back to terra firma here. Imaginary meal pill makes you feel full and burns fat. Now, I think that this is going to be abused by people that want to die.
People who want to die.
People who what?
People who
Right.
want to die. People are going to use these diet pills for suicide.
Diet or die?
I think he said diet. I'm just fucking with him. But
Diet?
Google Hangouts
Been
dropped the
developed by
ball.
scientists.
You know,
to fight obesity.
How does
there he
terraforming?
Terra firma, I said.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an old Latin term for Earth. The pill tricks the body into thinking it has consumed large amounts of calories, as if you have just eaten a substantial meal. In early tests on mice, it effectively halted weight gain, lowered cholesterol, controlled blood sugar, and reduced levels of unhealthy white fat. It is for that reason, friends, that I'm reporting on it. Because even if there are some side effects, remember the Creed rule I said earlier. Just because Big Pharma healthy white fat, that makes you wonder, I would say. Why do they get the horn? It says am I roboing again?
Yeah, and Lucian's making fun of us. And
the
I'm not
U.S.
making fun of you. I just said Google Hangouts. I didn't say David Lake sucks.
Yeah, but it's making us look like fools, and the audio and we should get on a better platform. Oh!
I said, yeah, Google Hangouts blows. They lower the audio automatically, making us all look like fools.
Oh, they love to do that. Yeah, Google Hangout is famous
Stupid.
for. I hadn't thought of that.
Stupid.
It could be a Google Hangout issue.
No,
Okay.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So
Sam,
anyway,
you're coming through now. Just try to nail this really fast. Go.
yes. If it's going to halt weight gain, lower cholesterol, control blood sugar, and reduce levels of unhealthy white fat, that could be very helpful, even if it has a few side effects. It says U.S.-led scientist Dr. Ronald Evans, director of Salk Institute's Gene Expression.
Sam, wake up. Sam, you're on.
Thanks, Google Hangouts.
Yeah. Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google, for nothing.
120 to 115. I'm just saying, maybe you should just avoid a meal to do that. But for people that have a legitimate problem, especially when it's compounded by other issues, it's interesting. The drug is it's called fexamarine, or FXR. And that's a receptor that it eliminates. It plays a role in the body that releases bite acids from the liver, digests food, and stores fats and sugars. So again, I imagine there's going to be a few side effects on this, but for people that have a major problem with a cluster of illnesses, I thought that this might be something that Big Pharma has done that may not be terrible. What do you guys think?
I really have no idea, Sam. Because
No,
we're
Kyle's
gonna.
going.
It's about losing. It's about losing weight or something.
Weight loss pills?
Weight loss.
You were cutting in and out so bad.
Sam, I thought for sure on today's science news you were going to talk about the atomic clock getting 1 minute closer to midnight. I mean, what the fuck?
I have the atomic clock, actually.
All right, let's get to that. Well, let's do that one.
I have the atomic clock indeed. I'm calling it up now. I was, well, now you know what? Now I have to find the atomic clock.
Now
Go
that
ahead.
you're
I could tell you what it is. Well, you know what? This is what I'm going to do because I have read it. I don't even need the article. Do you just find one of the many? What has happened is they moved us 2 minutes closer to doomsday on the doomsday clock. That's the first time they've moved it in a couple of years. The reason I'm not taking it seriously, and I didn't lead with it, D-Lake, was because they're blaming it on the proliferation of nuclear weapons, which I agree with, but they haven't once registered anything about nuclear power plants, which have caused far more damage to the country than any of our nuclear weapons, including the accident that happened at Russia's Mayak. And they said due to global warming. So, I mean, to me it was like it's being caused by nuclear weapons and Mickey Mouse. It was very hard for me to take it seriously after I heard that, so I kind of scoffed it off. I lost a lot of respect for their figuring system when I heard that. Actually, I used to take them a little more seriously than I do now.
Who's responsible for that clock?
Scientists.
Yeah.
Who?
Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. And the video starts by this lady from the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists saying that you were just getting closer to helplessness. And I don't want to believe that.
I have to agree with Sam, though. Like, not even just in this country, worldwide, nuclear power plants having issues have done so much more damage and have been so much more threatening. I mean, we've dropped 2 atomic bombs that have caused human casualties, a lot more when it comes to testing in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Few lost ones.
Yeah, so the power plant is much more of a concern to me, and I don't know, it's like, how do you figure out how close we are on the dooms? I mean, it's just, since the 1950s, all it takes is, pushing the button. So, I can't take that really too seriously, take it with a grain of salt. I do find it, though, surprising that, like, in the 50s, people were freaking out about nuclear bombs and thinking, the world was going to end, mutual destruction. And now, when, like, I think it's agreed that, like, nuclear, not even just warfare, but destruction in general is so much more likely, and people are just kind of like, deflated footballs, let's talk about that instead. I mean, I don't know. That is good job, Sam.
Thank you. We're going to space next week.
Oh, that sounds
Awesome.
good.
I'm waiting for some Elon Musk news, some Falcon 9.
I always see stuff in science-related news during the week, and I'm like, is this what Sam's going to cover?
Yeah, exactly. You see, like, some sciencey news articles, and you're like,
that's awesome.
hope Sam is seeing this, too. All right.
Yeah, Sam, have you seen... okay, yeah. Let's shift gears into entertainment. Kyle, you were saying something in a message to me earlier about American Sniper illegal downloads or pirated or something. What's that all about?
Yeah, I pirated it because I'm not going to pay money to see it, but I did watch it. Did anybody else watch American Sniper?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Anybody?
No. I watched Interstellar last night.
I was going to watch that. Was it good? I heard it was boring. Every time I'm like, I'm going to watch it, I hear somebody on a podcast tell me not to. Was it worth it?
Oh, it was amazing. Definitely one of the best films I've seen recently. No doubt about it for me.
All right, maybe I'll watch it tonight. But I watched American Sniper, and I have to say, the fact that it's a propaganda film and any feelings you might have about Chris Kyle put aside, it was not a good movie. It was a really poorly made movie. It was really, really cheesy. The acting was kind of subpar. It wasn't that great. I didn't think it was good at all. I see. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's kind of freaky. I keep seeing people, what an amazing movie. And it's like, come on. You know it wasn't a good movie. Stop lying to yourself. You just want it to be a good movie. What, are you looking up where in the world is Carmen Sandiego over there, D-Lake?
No, that's not Carmen Sandiego. That's Agent Carter. It's my entertainment news. But I want to hear a little bit more about Lucian's thoughts on Interstellar. Now, did you watch it at home? Because I heard that
That's what I kept hearing, is if you didn't see it in IMAX, not to bother.
Yeah, I heard that the Interstellar was really just like all about the IMAX experience. Lucian, where did you watch this?
The premise of the idea that you need to see it in IMAX is based on the fact that the soundtrack score is designed to really, really, really be loud and blow you away and actually force you into this sort of zero-G feeling. But I have excellent speakers at my house, and it was actually so overwhelming that I was like, God damn it! Like I'm sitting there like doing the volume thing up and down, because I'm like, geez,
Oh,
the scene
that's
almost
annoying.
was like boom. So I feel like I got an excellent experience. I think the movie is like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. I was up until about 2 in the morning ish watching it,
Was that
and
45
it
minutes
was
too
great.
long, or what was that? Was that too long? Or?
No, it's great. It's really good. I didn't realize until after that the musical score is designed to be so in your face. I mean, I'm doing the remote game like, the scene is normal and you can't hear the dialogue, so you
Yeah.
crank it up and then all of a sudden something happens and you're like, God.
They need to come up with like some sort of like a surround sound system that has like automatic control of that. So like when it goes really loud, it turns itself down and then it goes back up for the dialogue, because that's annoying.
That's what's going on here in Google Hangouts. We don't want that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we need
true.
more audio balance for sure.
But
That's exactly what they're doing in Google Hangouts.
with technology, speaking about like how what you said, how they're like you should see it in theaters because of the sound and stuff. Like I don't know about you guys, like my house isn't very big. Like my living room where my TV and stuff is maybe, I don't know, like 15 feet by 15 feet, one couch,
You're
and
saying
like
it's no IMAX theater?
no, definitely not. But like with a room the size of your average like. And I don't know what you would call it. The old names for rooms are obsolete. The room with the TV that I sit in, like
It's a media room now.
yes, the media room in your average house is so like my surround sound system. I have a 5-point surround sound system with a subwoofer center, left, right, front, left, right, back, and it's like I think I paid $60 for it. It's not an expensive system. When I crank that bad boy up on a nice like Redbox DVD with a good soundtrack, like it fucking moves the room. Like it is, and it's high quality. Like I would say that I have a better sound system for the room at my house than like the sound system comparably inside of the theater. Like the sound sounds better in my house, and it's not an expensive system.
You were just speaking, and I was picturing that candle lighting that newspaper up behind you, and you didn't notice it. It was funny.
of Kennedy being killed that day, that would be hilarious. It's actually
Funny thought.
There's some room back there, but I would like to get a bigger TV. I'd like to get like a 60-inch TV, but if I like, because we have a 32-inch, it's a flat screen, 1080p and everything. Like
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the projector. We're done with TVs pretty soon. Once I go projector, I'm done with TVs forever.
the projector's dope, but the problem with the projector is you have to turn the lights down in the room. Like you have to go full theater. Like the projector is great if you're gonna like turn the lights off, sit down with a blanket and a cup of hot cocoa and watch a movie with your lady friend. But for just like watching Netflix, I don't know.
Watching all of those romantic movies you guys have been watching for a couple of days now.
Rom-coms. Watching a lot of rom-coms and The Fault in Our Stars.
You guys should watch Serendipity, John Cusack's great film.
I think I've seen that, actually.
Ladies fall more in love with you when you show your ultra-sensitive side.
Yeah, that's why we watch The Notebook twice a week. No,
I mean, come on, just let me show my sensitive side tonight. Come on, please.
Yeah,
I stand outside your window with my ghetto blaster playing like really cool love songs.
It's less of a sensitive side that I have and more of a sensitive spot. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Just having an adult conversation.
Is that what we get when David puts a Glock in our face?
This week, for my entertainment news section, I wanted to talk about Agent Carter, the new show on ABC. It's Marvel's Agent Carter, and you might recognize her from the first Captain America, First Avenger movie. She has her own spin-off series now, where she's an agent of the Scientific and Strategic Operations or something. Before there was S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Marvel universe. This takes place back in like the 1940s. And I started watching the first 2 episodes. Now, what I wanted to talk about is the actress that plays Agent Carter is Haley Atwell. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but you watch something new, you go to IMDb, you click on the actress, and you're like, where have I seen her before? You start scrolling through her filmography,
You're like, oh, everything.
She was Martha in the Black Mirror. Be right back. Sam, you've been watching the Black Mirror. I didn't even recognize that was her. She was in all these old movies that, like, yeah, she was in Captain America. She was in Tomato Soup. She was in The Prisoner. What? She was? She was in The Duchess. She was in...
Who is this? Who is this?
It's Haley Atwell who's playing Agent Carter, but let me get back to Agent Carter of the show itself, because I just watched the first 2 episodes, or 1.5 episodes.
I've never heard of this.
Sam, it's brand new. Don't feel too bad. What I want to say is this actress is I find her really hot, man. She was wearing this outfit with a blonde wig on the first episode, or maybe it was the second episode. She's got a great rack, and she's really hot. And what I also wanted to say though, is that Marvel is only doing 8 episodes of the first season instead of like the standard 16 like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they can spend twice the amount per episode to make it look more like a movie. They tie in scenes from Captain America, and they tie in characters like Tony Stark's dad, Howard Stark.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's cool.
Stark Technologies, they have the actor Dominic Cooper on the show, reprising his role as Tony Stark's dad. It's really awesome. And what I also wanted to say is this chick, and whether it's her stunt doubles or whatever, she fucking sells the action. You know, honestly, a lot of times on TV when a female character is doing like a fight scene, I'm just not buying it. You know, it's just, you know, this weak ass punch, this like a baby punch. But she is really selling the action. When she's punching dudes and knocking dudes out and fucking putting staples in their head, I'm fucking buying it, dude. She's like pretty tough, and I like that.
Somebody listening to this part of the entertainment section who's like a hardcore feminist would not know whether to hate you or not, because you go back and forth between like, she's selling it, and she's a great actor, and she's got a nice rack, and this chick can fight. And like a feminist
she's got great tits, a great body, but she's strong, she's athletic, and she can fight, and that's what I think strong females are all about. And I like
now the massive feminist crowd that listens to the Media Speaks hates every word you just said, dude.
They don't watch the Media Speaks though. I'm talking to a bunch of nerdy, sweaty dudes in their basement watching Agent Carter on the weekends. Come on!
Watching Agent Carter.
It's Marvel. And there's going to be stuff that ties in possibly to the new Avengers and other stuff like that. So I'm really keen on this, man.
Now, see, if I said the words that you just said, my entire fan base is unfriend, delete, unsubscribe.
Well, that's one of the benefits that I have of being delayed for friends. Of the
I think making fun of women, not that I'm encouraging anybody making fun of women, and not that we did make fun of women at all, but if we were to just like start making fun of women as an inferior sex and just saying horrible things, I think it would be about the equivalent of making fun of a deaf person. Like they're not here. They're not watching this show.
Hey, have you got that?
I look at my when I do my analytics, I will find like I have almost 80% male listening audience.
Yeah.
I'm checking it real quick.
Kyle, you
84% male.
Yeah. Kyle, you wanted to talk a little bit today about Google Translate, but before you do, let me just say, anyone watching this video right now, go click on the CC, the closed caption. They're going to get everything I say totally wrong. They don't have...
I've never looked at it.
Oh, I'll be like, Agent Carter has a great rack, and they'll be like, I want to give that bitch a smack. It's like, what? That's not what I said.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, and whenever Sam talks, it's like strawberry shakes. I'm like, that's not what he's talking about. But Kyle, real quick before we go to Sam's entertainment, tell us a little bit about what you know about the new Google Translate app.
Wait, I want to get to that, but really quickly, before I forget, you were talking about how you went to this lady's Internet Movie Database page, and you were just like, holy shit, she's been in everything? Like, how do I not know this person? Can you Internet Movie Database somebody and screen share it for me?
Uh-huh.
I want you to look up David DeLuise. David DeLuise is Dom DeLuise's son. He was the father on Wizards of Waverly Place, and he's the brother of the big tough guy from 21 Jump Street.
21
I
Jump
love
Street.
Dom
Yeah, he has,
DeLuise. That's his son?
Yeah, that's David
Dom-
DeLuise.
what's his brother's name? Don?
Dom is his father, Dom DeLuise. His brother's name I can't remember.
I think it's Don DeLuise, or I'm not, or Dom DeLuise Jr. Maybe. He was on 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, it wasn't Dom. It was something though.
But what's David DeLuise all about?
Internet Movie Database. I mean, you'll see he was you'll recognize him immediately.
Oh,
he was
there.
the dad.
Oh, sorry, I'm not. Yeah, hold on. Here we go.
He was the dad on Wizards of Waverly Place, but if you look through his Internet Movie Database page, I just found this like troll on the internet one day. This dude's been in fucking everything. Like he's literally been in so many things.
Let's see. A bunch of stuff in post-production: Hawaii Five-0, Beethoven's Treasure Trail, Catch, Lucky Dog, Big Daddy, the TV series, Delicious Ambiguity, and Quick Draw, Abner the Invisible Dog, a bunch of shit that I've never seen, Kyle. Grey's Anatomy.
You got to go a little bit deeper because that's all pretty recent, and that's the thing too is it
American
seems like
Decaf, Svetlana, Imagination, Movers, Vampires Suck. That sounds funny. Prep and Landing, RoboDoc.
That's an awesome.
Wizards
He's a
of
doctor.
Waverly Place, the movie, Fusion, Fall, A Christmas Proposal, Mostly Ghostly, Dear Me, Bundy, American Icon, Bones. Oh, that's a good show.
Fucking Bones. If you go like more in like the 90s than anything else, but CSI.
Yeah, he was on a bunch of TV, right? ER.
Yes, dear. ER. Spider-Man. What else you got on there? Rocket Boy.
Was he ever on 21 Jump Street?
I don't think so. He might have been Ellen.
Wait, The Simpsons? Wait, did I just see The Simpsons? Sequest?
Sequest, hell yeah.
Of the Hams.
Blossom. He was on Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, stop the presses. He was a villager in Robin Hood Men in Tights, uncredited.
There you go.
He was on 21 Jump Street!
He was. There you go.
Now let's try
What
to
was
see
his brother's name?
Yeah, let's look that up. Peter DeLuise.
Peter DeLuise.
He was Officer Doug Penhall.
And they look like very, very similar.
And didn't he have a cameo in the first 21 Jump Street remake movie?
He did, yeah. Small cameo.
Okay.
So yeah, like that guy though, it's like a ton of stuff. Like you've watched Yes Dear, you've watched ER, you've watched CML, you've watched all these shows, and it's like
yourself.
You have seen at least one episode of most of those shows. Like you might not watch Friends, but you have seen Friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like you have seen that dude on TV at least 5 times. So when you see his face, it's like, yeah, I know who that is, but I couldn't tell you what I know him from. It's just a weird thing.
Dom DeLuise is awesome in Cannonball Run.
Yeah, it's a decent one. He made a few good movies. He was good in The Skateboard Kid.
Okay.
I was kidding. That was a really bad movie, but he was the voice of the skateboard.
All right, that was it. That was a nice trip down memory lane of 20.
Well, shit on my point, D-Lake. Google Translate. They upgraded their shit. It's dope. It's the coolest thing in the world. I don't know if any of you have played with it. If anybody out there has an iPhone 4S or higher, immediately go download Google Translate. You can literally put it on the table and, like, say Lucian Ferro only speaks, like, Portuguese, which might even not be a language, and I speak English. I can put it down on the table, the iPhone, between the two of us, and every time that I talk, I hit the English button, and it'll, like, as I'm talking, it'll speak it to him in his language and vice versa. So you can have a complete conversation with somebody who speaks a totally different language. And then on top of that, you can take it and you can hold it against anything. And what you'll be seeing with your eyes is something in English, and then you can translate, say, to Spanish. When you look at that same thing like a page from a book, it'll translate the entire page of the book into Spanish. But it doesn't just translate it into the other language. It does like a mini Photoshop job. So when you're looking at it through your phone, it actually looks like you're looking at a book that's written in Spanish.
If you use that for a movie, is it too confusing because of the audio that's coming out of the movie, or can you use it for that?
I think it would be difficult because in a movie, a lot of people talk over each other. There's background noise and stuff. But you could use it for anything to the point where you could go visit another country and live there for a month and have absolutely no issue because you could talk to everybody, you could read all the signs, you could read all the menus.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Because my brother speaks fluent German, and I know how to get to the bathroom, and I know how to order eel soup, but that's about it.
Sam,
Google Translate's really cool for that trip.
Is it the one with the logo, like an A folded over, like a symbol in the back?
I believe so, yeah. And it's like a Google Doc, like Google Translate. It should be the first app that shows up. You're downloading it?
Because you can only eat so much eel soup.
But they have it for Android, so I have that.
They do.
I have the Samsung Galaxy Note 3.
Oh, so you'll totally be good. See, my phone's too old where I actually have to take pictures and it scans it and then it tells me what it says. It's not as cool. If you have a new phone, it's just like so insanely awesome. Like I couldn't even believe it. My buddy Tim showed it to me. And he's showing me, he's like, get a book. And I open up the book, and he points at it. He's like, look at my screen. And it's like, I look at the book, and it's written in English. I look at it on his iPhone 6, and it's like I'm looking at the same book, but it's in a different language. Like, it photoshops it in real time into the language.
Wow.
Oh, that's fuck off in Arabic. Huh? Do you like?
Hey, fuck off in Arabic. Let's see what it looks like. Well, let's see what it sounds like in German.
Oh, that
Verpiss dich.
Chris, what is verpiss dich? Verpiss dich.
Play it. Hit the little microphone or the little speaker.
Oh, really? Yes.
Never heard that one.
It'll say it to you.
He doesn't spend much time cussing at people in German.
It's probably safer that way.
It's probably safer that way.
Oh!
Oh, look, it gives you 2 more translations, too, so there's other ways to say it.
Verpiss dich.
Verpiss dich. Now we know.
Great.
This show's really gone.
All right.
Sorry, going a little bit off the deep end. Sam, what do you have in entertainment?
I've got 2 things. One of them is the return of the X-Files. Yes, the return of the X-Files. Speaking of
it's coming back?
Very attractive female of the second act. Yes, it is coming back. My brother reminded me of it as he sits here. Yes, it is true. There's coming back new X-Files, and I do believe the same 2 people are going to be in it.
Really?
Which is even more exciting. The same, and it's good. I'm actually really happy about that because I think that they were very, very solid chemistry between the 2. I think trying to put another 2 people in that role would be, I don't know, it works with Doctor Who because you know it's coming with Doctor Who. Maybe if they say this is going to be our last time, and then we're going to bring new Mulder and Scully's in, that would work. But if you were to do a new Mulder or Scully now, bad idea.
What if that happened in like real life? Like we had a show and Lucien says he's going to be on, and we're talking to him like on Facebook, and then he like joins the show, and we're like, Lucien Farrow, everybody's like, hey everybody, what's going on? And we're like, wait. Who are you? I'm Lucien Farrow. All right. So, like,
Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum instead.
But I'm notorious for not wanting to pay for cable. But it would be tempting for the X-Files. Kick-Ass Torrance is alive and well, though.
What I would rather say live on the air is everything I do in my life is legitimate. I buy all the movies and all the CDs.
No way. And it's funny because like I'm a DJ and I play a lot of music that I got offline, perhaps in questionable ways. And I never feel bad. I'm like, you know what? Who else spent a year playing the new Skinny Puppy? Guess what? I did. So it's like I guarantee that I've met them now twice. I guarantee even if they knew how many times I played it, they'd probably be like, yes, good job, thank you.
I feel bad unless it's something stupid. Like I didn't feel like that because of American Sniper because I didn't. I felt obligated not to pay for that movie. But other times I will feel bad.
On the flip side, you spent $15 to get the movie The Interview.
Yeah, I spent $15 for The Interview. I donated money to the Serial podcast. I've donated money to other places. And here's another thing that I've really been considering doing, because I recently watched a comedy special that I watched on an illegal website. And I felt bad because I really do like that person. But I thought, maybe I'll just donate $1, like, or $5 to them on PayPal, because me giving them $1 or $5 on their personal website through PayPal, they'd be getting more money from me than they would if I like paid to rent their special from Redbox or whatever, or rent it from Amazon. So maybe that's the better way to do it. Steal their stuff, but then make personal contribution to them.
Yeah. X-Files, excited? Anyone? You should.
I'll watch it. I'll check it out. X-Files was a good show.
I didn't like the movie, like where they get out of them. They end up being chased by security. They go onto the roof of the building, and then it does an immediate cutaway. It never says how they actually got off the property. I hated the X-Files movie, but the actual X-Files TV show I liked. The movie I was greatly let down by.
I just randomly was reminded. Anybody here rocking the Marco Polo show on Netflix?
I was told about that, and I heard it was good.
It's pretty good. It's this new show about Marco Polo and like living with Genghis Khan's grandson. I forget his name.
Wow.
We watched like 4 episodes of it. They're like hour-long episodes. It's pretty decent.
I saw the splash for it on Netflix, and I saw the guy from Entourage, and I was like, no. And then somebody I respect said yes, so I'll give it a go.
See, I can outdo you, Lucian, by saying that I honestly did not even recognize anybody from Entourage. Don't even know who you're talking about. So the fact that I avoided it so much, I was able to get past it without even knowing.
But that's the guy, though, right? The lead role is isn't that the guy?
I don't think so.
No.
Are you talking about, because the guy from Entourage is the guy from, like, Drive Me Crazy, right? The 90s
Did they make Aquaman? I wanted to see it, but then never knew if they did.
No, that's like a joke on the series, and even the trailer for the new Entourage movie, they're kind of doing like a Sex and the City thing, like it was on HBO, and then they make it into a movie, and at the beginning of the trailer it says, "From the makers of Aquaman," but that's just like a fake grindhouse machete type trailer thing. But Sam, one of the things that we do in the entertainment section on the Media Speaks that I think is so great is we talk about the new stuff that we're watching, the things that we like, new Marco Polo series and crap like that on Netflix. One of the things in the past few weeks that we've been hyping up is the BBC show Black Mirror. Now, Sam, you said it.
Yes.
Sam, you said at the beginning of the show, and you told us in the pre-show that you've been watching Black Mirror over the past couple of days. My sister also watched it on my recommendation. How did you feel about it, Sam?
I loved it. My favorite was the Piggy episode and the
first episode.
See, I don't want to give spoilers, so I mean it starts. I'm giving you what it starts with in the first 30 seconds, listeners. The Piggy episode and the episode with the active shooter. Those were my 2 favorites. The cameras and the active shooter and the Piggy. Those were my 2 favorite episodes.
I thought number 2 was definitely the best, the one with the exercise bikes.
See, I could take or leave that. I don't like that he's sold out at the end. That let me down.
Lucian, have you ever seen the show Black Mirror? It's on Netflix.
What's the active shooter?
I didn't even hear about it until today. Is it a horror thing? I don't do horror.
It's kind of like an updated Twilight Zone.
I love horror, but this isn't horror. No, it's different.
I have nightmares, guaranteed. Like I will just 8 hours of total, vivid, real-life horror, so I just can't do it.
This is like the Twilight Zone, but updated, and it's all about like modern technology.
Yeah, think Twilight Zone, not Saw.
Yeah, it'll take like a random piece of technology like the cell phone, and it'll be like, what is the maximum dystopian level that we can take this one piece of technology to?
Not even supernatural like the Twilight Zone. It's usually things that man have done to hose fellow man.
Yes.
I'd say a little bit. I'd say Twilight Zone, but I'd also include like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Each episode.
Yes, Hitchcock would be a good one to compare.
Each episode is what do you call that? Sustaining or it's
Yeah, they're not it's not a running storyline. Every episode is a new plot line, a new thing to figure out.
What do you call that, Kyle? Self-contained.
Yeah, self-contained.
And Lucian, I really think you should watch it. There's only 2 seasons. There's only 2 seasons on Netflix, and each season is only 3 episodes. There's
You
only
won't have nightmares.
Sam, how far did you get? How many episodes did you watch?
We keep looking for new ones. I think we've watched them all.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
only
sure,
what's
but I
on
think we
Netflix,
have.
but there's gonna be a 3rd season.
They could be on YouTube. Not that I would ever recommend that you should go there and watch them on YouTube. Not that I ever did that.
So Sam, did you watch the season 2 episode 1 called "Be Right Back"?
Yes.
Where the chick's husband died, but then she.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Yes, that one.
The wife is Haley Atwell, who plays Agent Carter with the big rack.
Oh, that's who she was.
That's
Okay,
her.
okay.
That's her.
Ah.
And Lucian keeps texting that he got something wrong. Lucian, did you want to correct what you said previously?
No, I just basically said all those actors that, like the Entourage dude, Marco Polo, Jon Snow, the Borgias guy, they all look the same to me.
They do all look the same.
They have
That's
that
very
black
true.
curly hair. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, white guys with the black curly hair and the whole sort of kind of greasy appearance, they all look the same. They'd be all, how dare you? How dare
do
you?
all look the
Next
same,
thing you're
though.
going to be saying is those people.
Those Italians are those greasy fuckers. Yeah.
Greasy Italians. It's okay. You can say it.
Yes,
We
it's
know
fine.
what you were thinking. We know what's in your heart, D.
I
Like,
used to introduce myself as Sam. Right, there's a talk show host up here called Mike Trevisano that calls himself the Mega Dago, and there have been variations of Deganji that have been Dago Angie and very many other ones. Yeah, if you're in Cleveland, there used to be a lot of Italians in Cleveland. It's kind of thinned out over the years. We're like
Sam, do your YouTube?
Well, these aren't Italian guys at all. That's the funny thing. They just all have this similar look, this sort of like, you know, large-headed Abercrombie and Fitch with the curly black hair. They all look the same to me.
I don't think they had Abercrombie and Fitch in the days of Marco Polo.
The Abercrombie huge cranium look.
Yeah.
I can't go into Abercrombie stores because it's like this bright white light, and it's just it's an annoying store to be in. Very.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, my problem
once.
with it, my whole problem with that show is that I thought Marco Polo was going to be about a game that you play in the swimming pool with your eyes closed, Marco Polo, and then you hit your head on the edge of the fucking pool.
I was thinking, I was like, is because that game has to originate from somewhere. Is there going to be a part like in like the last season where like he's like
fish out of water.
He's looking for his father, and his father's like, Marco, and he hears it, and he's like, Polo, and I can be like, the game.
Oh, that's how you know. That's how you know we're reaching.
I have to close the story, D. Like with it's all in the way that you word it. For instance, I can truthfully tell you that I went barreling down the hill on a snowboard, and D. Lake, I swear it's true. I ollied a tree. I swear to God, it's true. Now, the other way
not like Sonny Bono though, right?
The other way you could tell the story is, I came barreling down the hill, managed to straighten out enough to go between these two big trees, and I thought there was a branch that had fallen from the tree. So I decided I was going to ollie over it. I went to pick it up because I was going to bring it home as a joke for the party and realized it was rooted into the ground. So the tree was about 4.5 inches high. So it all depends on how you tell the story. I just figured I would throw that out there.
Okay.
You're still talking about Italians?
Sam,
jump trees on the snowboard.
Sam,
take away from this.
Sam, real quick, can you look up on your YouTube demographics of people that watch your show? How many greasy Italians with big heads and black curly hair?
I think they usually give that information out only on Sundays, but I can get back to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Lucian, be right back. I was thinking about wrapping up the show, but
I want to see if Lucian has any entertainment first.
A little teeny tiny bit. Kyle, any other things that you've seen recently that you found spectacular and amazing?
I've been watching a lot of stand-up comedy.
Have I seen anything? I clicked into that video of that Ari Fleischer.
Ari Shaffir.
Ari Shafir. They wanted my email and stuff to watch the video on that channel, and I didn't feel like giving
No, I
that.
didn't. I didn't have to type anything in.
Maybe I'm using the wrong browser. I'm not sure.
You were
But,
using wrong stuff. It was hilarious though. Ari Shafir's new special, paid regular. That was really funny.
Anything
He does
else
like
you guys wanted to? Anything else you guys wanted me to Google Translate real quick, or?
What's
Lucian,
I am
what
busy.
is German for Dago? Do they have a German for Dago? I bet they don't.
I know. Did you know what WAP stands for? I actually know the origin of the term WAP.
No, actually, that's awesome.
Without papers.
Oh, I've heard that too, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, duh.
Yeah, because they were like they were the original illegals.
Yeah.
Oh, what about what do you call that? A FOBO or a fresh off the boat? FOT.
Fobs, yes.
Fobs. Fobs fresh off the boat. There's a new Asian American comedy that's gonna premiere on like NBC or ABC, and they had a press conference, and the very first reporter asks, like, I'm a big fan of Asians. Are there gonna be like chopsticks on the show?
What?
Yeah, and all the Asian actors are like, oh, yeah, very funny. Randall Park, the guy from the interview, is on the show. He's like the dad. He's like the Bill Cosby of the show. And he's like, yeah, actually, originally, the show is called Fresh Off the Boat, I believe. And he said, yeah, originally we were going to title the show Chopsticks. And then another reporter that's kind of making fun of the first reporter goes, are there going to be anything about fortune cookies on this new Asian American show called Fresh Off the Boat?
It's like they're just not thinking. Like, did you see? I don't know.
Are there going to be any robots singing and dancing on the show?
Yeah. There was a guy that just reminds me. I just saw it on Facebook yesterday. Just I don't know why this was trending, but it was like this female tennis player. Did you see this? Who she won like an event, and like the news reporter for this like big tennis match comes out, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations! Why don't you do a little twirl for us?" And then she's like, no."
Hey, thanks for joining us on the show. Can we see your ass?
Yeah, exactly. She's like, no. Like, I'm surprised that dude didn't get punched in the face. Do a little twirl for us. Fucking douche. Who do you think you are? Alright, well, I think Lucian died. I think that he ran out of animated slides. We have him for a limited time because he has to be drawn in real time. Which makes it tough.
Or his like shoe turns into a pumpkin if he's not off by midnight.
Well, it just stops. It just goes to blank. There's a live animator constantly creating the character that is Lucian Farrow. He's actually an attorney in New York. He doesn't really exist. He actually is a creation of the CIA, put here to push propaganda on us, make us believe in ridiculous ideas.
Make you believe in not wasting your time with police officers.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's a disinformation agent. Where'd D-Light go? Right as you come back. So, Lucian, do you have anything in entertainment that you wanted to talk about real quick?
I've seen the movie Zero Charisma a couple of times. It's a very good film. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's just basically about this, obsessed tabletop gamer, sort of like gaming genre. It's very funny.
What's that called?
It's called Zero Charisma.
A tabletop gamer, as in like old Pac-Man?
No, as in like actual
D&D.
D&D
See,
tabletop.
I like all that stuff. I'm a huge gamer like that. I have to.
Yeah,
admit.
it's like
I would
the
have
genre of Unicorn
I
City.
love it.
What was the game?
The Knights
that I
of
played?
Badassdom, Unicorn City, Zero Charisma, they're all really good films. And then other than that, I watched this this great movie that was basically filmed with somebody's at-home camera called Film Geek.
Huh. What's it about?
It's about a film geek. It's about a film geek, but you have to really see it to appreciate the film. It's very indie. It's very look at me, I don't watch Hollywood films-y sort of.
Was Shia LaBeouf in it?
No. Nobody in this film you've ever seen before in your life, guaranteed.
Looks like
Hipster underground indie. Look at us counterculture watching movies sort of film. Very cool. Film geek. You guys will like it.
I'd have to look that up because I do
Yeah.
like movies like that. Like some of my favorite movies, like obviously
yeah.
Clerks.
Yeah,
like
that's the one.
I love
2005's Film Geek. This year's Napoleon Dynamite, a real sweet movie, hilarious.
The whole thing is
Uh,
filmed literally with like a camcorder. Dude. It's very good. It must have cost him probably, $5 to film the whole thing.
The story, real quick, Kyle. The story of Scotty Pelt, a socially inept video store clerk. Kyle, you like clerks, who gets fired from his job and becomes a sensation as an online film critic. Oh, John Campia.
The fact that it says this year's Napoleon Dynamite and that they decided to put that on the cover, I don't know if I can watch this. Napoleon Dynamite was the worst movie ever made.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was alright. I wasn't like obsessed with it, but it was alright.
Sam's fired. It was not a good movie.
I think
I saw that movie in theaters, and it was like before I met my girlfriend, and
had a couple funny parts. I think it got unwarranted cult super status though.
it was a stupid movie. I was walking out of the theater. There's these like two girls who were like flirting with me and my friend in the theater, and as we walked out, like, so what did you think of the movie? And they're like, we thought it was hilarious. So I'm like, all right, see you later. I'm not getting your phone number. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime. I can watch this right now. I can watch it on
I embarrassed somebody in the movie theater, actually. It was one of my lowest moments in life. Not the high-minded character you would expect, but I was watching one of these Marvel movies, and this chick behind me wouldn't stop kicking my chair.
Okay.
She wouldn't stop kicking my chair. She kept on doing the I'm going to cross my legs and then uncross them and cross my legs, whatever. And I basically put up with this for a good 7 or 8 chair kickings, and then I stood up in front of the whole theater. I was closer to the front, like I was in the section where the big gap is, like you know how they divide like most of the screen section. I stood up, I turned around, and I looked right at her and her boyfriend, and I was like, "You've been kicking my chair through the whole movie." And she just looked shocked. And then I looked at her boyfriend, who was a little less on the fit side, and I was like, "That's right, cupcake," and I sat down.
That is so not you. How long ago was this?
Fairly recent. No, it's not so me. It's just that I was so pissed. I was sitting there. I had the cold arm sweat pit freezing my rib. The cold arm pit sweat freezing my rib cage as it dripped down. That's how furious I was. So I kind of lost it in front of everybody.
Dude. Lucian, yesterday I was riding home on the trolley, and now riding on the trolley is
licking a lollipop.
I didn't have a lollipop, but riding on the trolley is a multicultural experience. Okay, first let me say that.
Let's go to the land of make-believe.
No. Look, I wanted to make this the main topic of the show today about crazy black people, because but there's a black guy. There's a black guy sitting to my left. There's a black guy sitting to my left. He looks like Raj from What's Happening. And then there's a black guy sitting in front of him that looks like Lenny Kravitz with a gigantic fucking poofed out afro and cool sunglasses similar to the ones I'm wearing today. But then this other black guy that's an older guy, he's got a little bit of gray in his beard. He's kind of got like a, I don't know, his afro is kind of, it's not like, it's like the curly, kind of not dreaded all the way, but kind of, anyways, he sits in front of me. He looks like he's about 40 to 50 something. But he is fucking all skinny and looks like he's been doing heroin or cocaine or something. And he's sitting in front of me, and the first thing I hear is him just sort of like babbling to himself, but can't really hear everything. Then he starts doing, I'm sitting behind him, keep in mind. He starts doing fucking, mock gun
like
shooting. People on the other side of the trolley, like he's fucking shooting him, and he's all kack. And then at one point he like starts and I'm like, if this guy pulls out a real gun, I'm gonna fucking choke him out. But then at one point he like takes a lighter out of his pocket, and he like, we're at one of the stops, and he stands up and sparks his lighter like he's at a fucking rock concert or something. And then I look over at the other black guy that looks like Raj that's sitting across from me, and he looks over at me and he fucking smiles, and we both kind of laugh like, what the fuck is this guy on? And but at one point Raj opened up his backpack and it flooded the fucking back part of the trolley with the smell of marijuana, And even the other black guy that had an afro like turned around like, I smell that, and I was like, man. Is any of that for sale? Like, but the guy that was on the fucking drugs, man, he just kept doing shit. And then I heard he was like leaning and he was talking to himself. He's like, "Yeah, stupid bitches and fucking you try to ask a bitch out and fucking." I heard him say cocaine and he's like, he keeps saying it, and he's like babbling to himself like really crazily, and I'm just like, people are crazy.
People are crazy.
And
like.
And it only added because earlier that morning another black guy had come up to me to bum a cigarette off me. No problem. I gave him a couple cigarettes. Even lit the cigarette for him, no problem. But he was collecting, I don't know if you got, is this illegal in California? He was, and there's quite a few people that do this in my neighborhood. On Fridays, it's trash day, and people put their recyclings out. Is it legal for people to roam the neighborhoods with their shopping carts and pilfer all your recyclables before the state gets it, and then because they take it up to the Ralphs and the recycle center?
That's such a good idea.
I'm pretty sure it is legal.
Dude, this guy had a cart with like 7 bags, just the whole thing, and he pushes it around. I mean, how much money does he make pulling the bottles out of my recycling?
Oh yeah, there was a guy who would go when I lived in DeKalb.
Is that legal?
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, because
it's legal if you live in David's neighborhood, which is probably Chula Vista.
I live in La Mesa. It's a very I live in Rolando. Look, the NSA already knows where I live, but it's a very respectable.
That's like the best idea ever. If I ever end up like absolutely destitute, that is
National City. We live in National City. It's legal.
City.
There was a guy who had come by. You guys came to my apartment complex. You remember, like when I lived in DeKalb.
But Lucian's been to San Diego, Kyle, so he knows better than you. And he's saying all these fucked up places are bad.
Yeah. I assume whatever he says is a horrible place to live. But you guys remember my apartment complex. You were there, and there were bars everywhere, and it was all college kids. There was a guy who made his living every Friday and Saturday morning. He would go around those apartment complexes and pick up all the beer cans that the kids left out everywhere. And so he was doing a service. He was cleaning up the neighborhood, and he made enough money to where like he had a truck and stuff. Like,
yeah, but this is Kyle, and I don't live in National City, Lucian, but the trash can, I take my recycling out, I put it at the end of the curb, and then, like last Monday, MLK, I was working from home, and my trash can was out on the street, and I heard all the bottles rattling. They came up to my trash can before the state comes and picks it up, and they pulled out all the fucking recyclables.
I love that idea.
I think that it's legal as much as I would prefer that people don't do it in my neighborhood, because I think it falls under the same thing as like if you see like somebody's throwing out like a dresser, and you're like, that's a nice dresser, and I need a new dresser.
You're end up with bed bugs if you do that, though.
Well, not from a dresser. But you know what I mean, a desk, whatever it is.
On the dresser.
Yeah, like you get a desk. You see like a really nice desk by somebody's curb on garbage day. Like you can totally go pick that up, right?
I mean, I would think it's better if, and this happens in my neighborhood, if it was out on the side of the street and it had a sign on it that said free. But
for sure. But I mean, I saw my neighbor down the street had they had a TV sitting next to their garbage can. And it was a pretty decent front projection. 1080i, it was like a 42-inch TV, had HDMI and stuff. I was looking at it for a few days, and I went over and I grabbed it. And it needed a new bulb. I bought a new bulb on Amazon for like $27, and now I got a like 42-inch TV in my room. It's like, I guess it technically it falls under the same thing, where it's like, what's the difference between taking a TV or a chair that somebody was going to throw out, and I guess like their old cans. One of them is definitely more sketchy. I think it's like the same thing. I think it's like as long as
they're like, look, you're just putting it out on the fucking street, but we'll actually take it to the recycling center.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is free.
I don't think
you're allowed to.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to open things. I don't like. Does your recycling bin have a lid?
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that. I think it's only if it's open.
I mean, I know it's not a mailbox, but I would think that there's some kind of law preventing this. But anyways, Lucian, do you like fish tacos?
Are we going somewhere with this?
No, it's just you seem to know so much about San Diego. I'm just wondering if you like fish tacos.
I love fish tacos.
Yeah, I used to go down to Tecate and get the best fish tacos.
Okay, do you know where the Red Fox Lounge is in San Clemente?
Yeah.
Well, dude,
Oh wait, San
done a
Clemente.
lot
It's
of
on
puking
University.
outside of that establishment in my
Yeah,
day.
me too. Oh man,
Are
I
you
have the
serious?
funniest photos.
The Red Fox Lounge
Yeah.
in San Clemente? Shut
Oh,
up. I
San
probably saw you
Clemente.
there then.
San
San
Diego
Clemente,
on
yeah.
University. No, not San Clemente.
San Clemente, just north of, like probably 40 minutes north of Oceanside, Ocean Slime.
Okay, that sounds like another one, but I've been to the Red Fox Lounge that's on University, not far from downtown San Diego.
And it's a bar,
Yeah,
not
it's
a
a
gentleman's
bar.
club.
It's a bar and sort of a lounge. They got a guy that plays piano sometimes.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah, I've done my fair share of throwing up outside that place too.
Throwing up outside the Red Fox Lounge is where you will find Lucian Farrell this Saturday night.
I'm like
No, not
JD.
really.
I'm like JD. Just drive me home. Just get me home. Fuck.
I might be doing some throwing up outside a bar tonight. There, we're going to this place called George's. If anybody saw the Christmas gift that the band had put up, actually that's a different show. It's this little tiny place. I want to say the stage is about, I don't know, 6 by 12. It's this little tiny stage, and then they have a second stage on the other side, and you can link the two together. We told them that we were going to need it for a show that we played there because there's 6 of us, and they forgot to clear out the second stage and left like chairs and stuff on it. So we had to cram in on this stage and immediately in front of it. Well, this place ends up, and it's not that big of a place. It probably only, a couple hundred people. You won't be able to move. We played there on Halloween, and it was packed. It was great. Well, I'm going there tonight. It's this little hole-in-the-wall bar that serves organic cheeseburgers made with cheese from the cheese is brewed from Pabst. Organic cheeseburgers with Pabst Blue Ribbon cheese. It is the bomb. So obviously it's not all organic. I get it. But oh my God, is it good? And they have like organic cut French fries. They've got this band playing there. He's like a 70-year-old that plays harmonica, like the guy from Blues Traveler, kind of good. Gotta go.
So, child labor.
Yes, that's it.
Kidding.
I see D-Lex got it up. George's. Is that George's Lounge, D-Lex?
I'm just kidding.
I just saw a deep fried PBR burger. I mean,
that's not deep fried PBR burger. No, that's not George's Lounge, but that looks good.
Oh, George's Lounge?
George's Lounge in Canton. It's if anybody wants to come out, if you're listening, that's where I'm going to be tonight. Watching Little Chicago.
Are you out in? You're out in Ohio, right, Sam?
The land of ice and snow, sir. Yes.
How far away from Cincinnati?
Oh, well, we go there once or twice a year. Cincinnati is about 3.5 hours south of me.
Oh, wow.
It's where
Okay.
Kings Island Amusement Park is, and when we get our passes for Cedar Point, we get into that amusement park free as well. If you've ever been there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll be in Cincinnati. Either late February, March. The only reason I don't know is because the individual I'm seeing there is coming in from out of the country. But that'd be cool.
We could probably find our way down there when you get there. So let me know. We could probably go down there for a day because we snowboard like crazy people. So yeah.
And then my buddy in Chicago, I would go out there to see Kyle, but I had a friend out there in Chicago that moved back to Europe. So the only excuse that I had when I was going out there was either work and or see him, and his mother is out there right like 35 minutes away from where you live or lived.
Yeah, I remember you said you said once, you're like, do you live anywhere near this one town? I don't know if you want to say what the town was, and I'm like, yeah, that's like 30-minute drive. And you're like, I was just there last week.
Well, I literally was driving away, okay, and I was really crunched for time. I was literally driving away. I was on there. I had my thumb right on your name, like I was gonna call you. But the thing is, I absolutely had to be going, and I thought, like, you know what? I'm not gonna call Kyle because when I call him, he answers. I realize I'm just gonna be saying, no, sorry, dude. You know what? I'm just letting you know that I'm actually here, but you're not gonna see me. Yeah.
I just want to let you know I'm right around the corner, but I'm not going to see you. What a dick.
Yeah, and so I was like, that's kind of rude, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. But yeah, Cincinnati, late February or early March, probably more than likely. And yeah, that could be cool. It's a shame.
Cleveland.
Cincinnati for Ohio, and then I was actually in Aurora, Chicago. Aurora was where it was.
Yeah.
You know where Aurora is, right? Yeah.
Right down the road. For those who don't know Illinois, that's the town the movie Wayne's World took place in.
There you go.
Hey, Lucian and Dylan, since you have experience in this area, is puking up an organic cheeseburger healthier than puking up a normal cheeseburger?
Absolutely.
I believe
I thought so.
Yes.
Good. Okay, good. Very good.
If you guys do a Media Speaks Gets Together sort of thing again, where you guys do that,
we
you
got
gotta let
ripped
me
the
know.
first night before we did our work. Like we laid down what we were going to do, what we were going to shoot, where we were going to go, what time we were going to get up, and then it was 4 friends that got ripped. It was a fun night. It was a fun night.
We got drunk a little bit and stuff. No, when you go to Cincinnati, we should all chill. We should get together and get dinner or something. My mom lives right outside of Dayton.
Well, fuck, if Kyle's going down to Cincy too, and D-Lake is, F-bomb.
Well, I always seem to spend the most to get out there. But anyways.
We could meet up somewhere like a little bit more north, possibly, if Lucian's capable of doing that, where, like, make it a little bit easier for Sam. I meet you guys in the middle, like, because Cincinnati is literally
Vegas!
It's like an
Vegas.
Cincinnati is an hour from my mom's house.
Okay.
We should invite our listening audience to all come down and eat with us too. Like we should pick a day now that we've done it on air, and we should all say like one restaurant and let that restaurant know we did it.
Oh, can we go to Frickers? Can we go to Frickers, please?
As long as they have this cheeseburger,
Does
right?
Mother Fricker cook there? Is it at Frickers? Is it Mother Fricker that cooks?
No, there's many.
We could end up reserving a whole restaurant if everybody was like, we're going to have these 2 shows collide together for like a live in-person dinner.
Yeah, at a certain restaurant.
All of a sudden there would probably be like, I don't know, it's hard to say. Decent load though, for sure.
We should do that.
We should chill.
Oh Jesus! All this food talk and cheeseburger talk.
Did you show George's earlier?
Yeah,
you're looking up all these burgers. Look up DC Cobb's Burger.
Okay.
DC space COBBS Burger. It's a restaurant in Woodstock out here.
Okay, Woodstock came up.
Yeah, I think it's the only one. They make some fucking badass burgers.
I'm so there. I am there. Oh,
they make one burger that instead of a bun, it has 2 grilled cheese sandwiches.
This is making me... Okay. Let's end the show, guys. Let's end the show. I need to go get some lunch now. Oh my gosh. I had a Jersey Mike's sandwich last week. I thought that was pretty good. But
I didn't work at Jersey Mike's.
Kyle, where can everybody find us?
The internet.
Okay, that's the easy answer. Lucian, where can people find you?
Yeah, well, good one, Kyle, because you already took that one. I could have said that one and gotten off easy. You can find us over at the Indigo Children Radio Show on Facebook, and just do a Google search for that. Or you can find us on YouTube, and very possibly we'll all keep in touch and see if you might share some time with us, possibly in the Cincinnati-ish area.
Hell yeah.
Coming up at a absolutely unknown time and date in the next 60-ish days. Very hard to say.
60-ish days. Yes.
I'm going to make sure that it's at a Frickers, though. That is a must. It must be at a Frickers.
No, wait a minute. I have to ask, is it going to be so noisy in a Frickers that we can't do it?
Have you ever been to a Frickers? You live in Ohio. Come on. How have you not been to Frickers? They got freaking chicken chunks. It's so good.
Might not be where I'm at. But I go to Cincy like usually around Halloween.
Well, okay, all right. Do you tell people where to find us? And
we are trying to do a lot of projective on-show coordination right now. I think that we should save that for after the show. Everyone can find us on themediaspeaks.com. Everyone can find Lucian Farrow at Indigo Children on the internet, I believe, if you just search that. And if you put in The Media Speaks on the internet, Kyle, and you don't find us,
you're an idiot. You're a dumb person.
You
are probably retarded.
You might have some.
It's not hard. You go to a place where it says search, and you type in The Media Speaks, and if you're on the internet, it'll work.
Oh, Fricker's menu right there?
I'm looking at where they are.
I'm going to put my order in right now. But everyone go to themediaspeaks.com. Find us
Finley.
on
Oh,
Facebook,
by Matt Winklejohn.
Twitter. Make sure to listen to this in rebroadcast
Matt
on
and Arizona.
iTunes, Stitcher, Podcaster, YouTube, Google. Even though Google fucked up our whole show today, but whatever.
iTunes, all that stuff.
Google ruined the science front. You can find me at youtube.com/thecorrectviews. Also look up the band Passing Time. You can find me tonight at George's Lounge, where I hope to be puking up organic cheeseburgers on the sidewalk, and it's gonna be a wonderful night.
Yeah, and if you're in the central to southern Ohio area, you can check out Frickers. They have locations in Troy, Centerville, Findlay, Maumee, North College Hill, Springfield, Bowling Green, Dayton, Toledo, Vandalia, Petersburg, Middletown, Huber Heights, Sylvania,
Nowhere near
Dayton,
me.
Fremont, Van Wert, Defiance, Sydney, Westchester, and Mason. So go get yourself some frickin' chicken chunks.
It's
Tell you
in
Kyle
South-
said,
Westchester,
South
actually,
Ohio.
that's the one. Westchester is exactly where I'm headed.
Yeah.
Oh, really? There we go.
Yeah,
We
I'm
can-
actually
we can
going to Westchester, Cincinnati-ish area. Westchester.
Boom. That's what it looks like. That's where we're going to be meeting up.
Yes,
You'll have
yes.
to check out Frickers, but Lucian, these guys
Yeah.
probably don't know what we're going to discuss here. But do you like In-N-Out Burger?
I know what you're talking about.
Absolutely. See, I haven't heard of the place they're talking about here, but I've heard about the chains. Yes, In-N-Out Burger is pretty good.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
David's
I
probably
wish I
like,
could.
why haven't we hung out in San Diego or whatever? And the big secret is I haven't been in that area for quite some time, up and down the West Coast, but mostly Seattle-ish. Because David's like, well, why don't we meet up in Horton Plaza? And I think about this every time I see David, and I'm like, dude, I know he's going to ask me one day, like, let's do this, and I'm going to have to tell him, I'm sorry, buddy, I just actually have not been there.
Okay. Well, next time you're down here, next time you're in National City, we definitely got to head out.
Oh, yeah.
I know your mom lives in Chula Vista, so no, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Southeast San Diego. I believe your mom is with the Logan Heights Crips. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, no, she's straight Pyru. She's Pyru all the way.
She's with the Eastside Pyros. Yeah, ESP. Yeah, that's what I figured.
No doubt, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're brazy,
Yo,
homie.
Yo, don't try to get brazy with me, yo.
Don't try to get brazy with me, David.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. That sounds like the end of the show to me. Anyone have any last final words?
Go on the internet, look up Indigo Children Radio, The Media Speaks, and Frickers.
Little Chicago band.
So
Great band.
brazy.
Passing Time. Correct.
Oh yeah,
Views,
Passing
and
Time. I
Chicken
guess I
Chunks.
could promote them too. Thank you, Kyle.
Okay. And a special happy birthday, a special happy belated birthday to Sam Ibediganji of The Media Speaks.
Thank you, Neil.
And special announcement, I've been trying to grow a mustache. So
It's actually on the 25th, so I had to just celebrate it this way. All right, you know what? No one's listening anyway. I 't a great story of what my weekend was supposed to be.
all right, we'll see you all next week.
Okay, sounds good, Sam, and broadcast.
Thank you. My ex says, you're going to get to see the Patriots play on your birthday. So I told everybody we were going to have a party Friday instead of Sunday. I was going to go check out my friend's band tonight and eat the cheeseburgers. And then I planned this big Super Bowl party for my birthday tomorrow. The trouble is the Super Bowl is not tomorrow. The Super Bowl is next Sunday. So, yeah.
You know what I do every Super Bowl Sunday?
Watch
watch-
Luke Rogowski get drunk. You have to. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. That was really,
Let me
really
guess.
funny.
Let me guess.
He did puke. No, all jokes aside, Luke Radowski did get drunk and puke outside the restaurant last
Yeah,
year.
he was offering people like $100 or whatever to buy him a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Let me guess what you do before the Super Bowl, Kyle.
Yes.
Deflate your balls.
Look up the song Flat Balls. It's an AC/DC parody. It's mind-blowingly funny.
You know what I do every Super Bowl though? I watch all 3 original Star Wars movies.
There you go.
That's what I do. I stay at home alone because my opinion is if I walk up to somebody on the street and they have like a sports team hat and a sports team jacket and a sports team T-shirt on, my immediately thought, and I call me a dick. I can't help my own thoughts. It just happens. My first thought is that person's an idiot.
I think it all depends. Like I think if you're all decked out like that, it's one thing. If someone's wearing a team hat, just the hat, I don't mind. But if you've got
No, just the hat.
coat,
All right.
the shirt, the hat, a tattoo, You know, that kind of thing bothers me. But I'm also addicted to the X Games when they're on. I've been watching the snowboarding finals for 2 days. Those are probably my two favorite end of whatever to watch. Soccer, like World Cup, whatever you want to call that last game. Super Bowl and X Games.
I'm obsessed with the Triple X Games. I deflate my balls while I watch them.
Oh, deflated balls while watching the Triple X Games. Now that's class.
Guys,
My favorite event is swallowing. Sorry, go ahead, Delay.
Well, you know, the bird of love is a dove, but the bird of true love is a swallow.
You catch more flies with honeys, but honeys like you more if you're fly.
Oh yeah, this show's getting edited.
It's a Matt Fultron.
Okay, I've just crossed the line from hungry to totally starving. We've just crossed the line from funny to completely absurd. I'm clicking stop broadcast.